I'm really expecting it to be a little bit difficult to get people in here for our debates today. So please help me out for the first 200 of you guys. If you're excited for some debates today, if you want to see some good conversations, make sure to double tap on that phone screen and make sure to share this live out with a couple friends. Spam the comment section as well. But once again, for everybody coming in here, it's going to be a slow send out. It's going to be a slow start to the stream for the only reason we haven't gone live on this account in months. But this is our main account, so who knows? Maybe it'll catch up in the algorithm and we'll have the biggest stream we've ever had because, we have 250,000 followers on this account. I guess we'll see. But for everybody tuning in here, if you're MAGA, make sure to hop in the queue. Let me know. Make sure to hop in the queue. Let me know in the chat as well. Spam MAGAs down below. It's so good to see you all. All right, let's see who we have in the guest requests. We're going to go ahead and get our first guest up in here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, first day back on the main account. I'm so excited. But once again, it's going to take a while to send out into the algorithm because when you don't touch these accounts for a while, you
I
really
just
have to
wanted to say
resuscitate
you're
them.
amazing and have a good day.
Brayton, you've been coming up here forever. I love you, man. W's for Brayton in the chat. Brayton's awesome. But once again, for everybody tuning in here, I'm really expecting a slow send out today. We haven't touched the account in months, so welcome in, guys. We may even have to, hit it with a few restarts. What's up, Julio? How old are you?
I'm 23.
Are you voting for Trump?
I am.
And why is that?
I live in Europe. I'm
Moving on to our next guest. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest, Jordan, has to say. If you're in the queue, make sure you're voting for Trump, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? How old are you?
You're amazing.
Hey, I appreciate you so much. If you're in the queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump, ladies and gentlemen. We may even have just stopped sending out at about 470 viewers. Hopefully, I had a feeling this account would be cooked, but we'll see. What's up, TZ? How old are you?
Hey, what's up, man? 35.
Have we spoke before?
Yeah, we have.
All right. I appreciate you for coming up. I'm just looking to talk to people that I haven't already spoke to. Yeah, Parker says tap the screen. Everybody, do what Parker says. Double tap away on that phone screen. Let's get to 50,000 double taps. All right. Let's go to move on to our next guest here. Let's see what our next guest has to say. What's up, Gerard? How old are you? And Gerard is automatically... Oh, he's back. Hey, what's up, Gerard? How old are you?
It's my bad. I'm just listening. Love you, though.
No worries, Gerard. All right, guys, if you're one of the 520 people watching the stream and you're voting for Trump, let me know in the comments section. For the 3 people in the queue right now, Yoshi, Lucifer, and Pinche Peter, guys, if you're not voting for Trump, please do remove yourself from the guest request. We're just looking for debates. For all, this 600 friends in here, welcome into the stream. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Are you voting for Trump?
I am.
And why is that?
Because he's my savior. I have to.
He's your what?
He's my savior.
All right, you're trolling. Moving on to our next guest. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Let's go to get Billy up in here, y'all. Everyone, just give us a minute. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, guys. We're just looking for a first debate of the night. Billy, my man, you're probably over 18. Are you voting for Trump? Okay, Billy's just not here. Billy is AFK, ladies and gentlemen. Billy is AFK. Moving on to our next guest, Edwin. Wowzy. You know what? The first guest is always the worst guest to find. So everybody be patient. What's up, Edwin? How old are you?
I'm 26 and I'm voting for Donald J. Trump.
Okay, why are you voting for Trump, buddy?
I mean, why wouldn't I vote for Donald Trump? He made America safer and more affordable.
He made America safer, so we actually have higher violent crime rates under Trump's presidency than Biden and Harris's. Purdy, I really appreciate you for the here we go. Thank you so much for the love.
And then
how did Trump make America more... You disagree with CIA and also, FBI national crime statistics?
So you're telling me having wars in other countries is not safe?
Edwin, you disagree with like CIA and FBI, like domestic violent crime rates?
Yeah, well, there were no wars starting under Trump. And we're closer to World War III than Trump.
We had the Turkish-Kurdish war because of our pull out of Kurdistan. We had a Yemen genocide and a proxy war in Syria with Russia. We also had
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, the war was not a peace under Trump because there were wars everywhere. What I'm saying is there were no new wars that started under Trump, and now
the
there were no new wars started. Now we're closer to World War III because of Biden.
Hey, Edwin. So the Turkish-Kurdish war did start. under Trump's administration with our pullout of Kurdistan, right? So did the proxy war in Russia with Syria, all right? So did the Yemen genocide, and then his self-proclaimed war on ISIS, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the U.S. was already at war with ISIS because in the war on terrorism. But anyways, we're now closer to World War III because of Biden allowed Putin to invade Ukraine or tried to invade Ukraine. That would never have happened under Trump because he respected Trump. Putin respected
We have
Trump.
leaked Kremlin documents that state that Putin thinks that Trump is easy to manipulate, and this would explain why we've had proven Russian and involvement in all of our elections since 2016, pushing pro-Trump propaganda.
Right, but he didn't. The reason why Putin did not invade Ukraine under Trump is because Trump told Putin that if he did that, he would bomb Moscow, and that made him respect Trump. The madman theory. Remember?
When did Trump tell Putin that?
I can't tell the date, but if you just Google Trump telling Putin that he would bomb Moscow, Google that. The first article will pop up. I think it's NBC or something.
That never happened.
That never happened. Well, what we're telling NBC News, so these articles are fake.
Macbeth, I really
Google it.
appreciate you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for the love. If you'd like to give me a source, you can, but you're gonna have to provide me with like the name of a publisher alongside a title of an article. But I mean, we can think about this super easily. So, would you agree that Putin wants to invade Ukraine?
Putin, yeah, I do agree because.
Then how come Putin wants Trump in office if Trump will make it harder for Putin to invade Ukraine?
Okay, that's okay. Sorry, let me. So that source that you wanted is Yahoo News, March 29, 2024. Yahoo. Trump suggested he would bomb Moscow for invading Ukraine.
Oh,
Yahoo.
wait, but 2024, I thought you said the reason Putin never invaded Ukraine while Trump was president was because Trump had made that threat. But Trump hasn't been president since 2020, and you just cited a source from 2024.
Yeah, I mean, this is just that they're redoing. I mean, Yahoo News. You know what I mean? Like, he still said he would. That he said that. You know what I mean? So
in 2024, right? But this wouldn't explain why, like, you made the claim that the reason Putin didn't invade Ukraine while Trump was president was because Trump had made this threat. But Trump wasn't president in 2024. Trump was president 4 years ago.
Okay, well, okay, here, okay.
Okay, so can you answer
February 23. What's that?
Can you answer my question now? So, does Putin want to invade Ukraine?
Yes, he wants to invade Ukraine because he.
Then how come Putin also has wanted Trump to be president, right? 2016, 2020, and now 2024. We have DoD, CIA reports as well as the Mueller report proving Russian interference with all three of these elections, specifically pushing pro-Trump propaganda, right?
So you're telling me Putin wants Trump president? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, because that would be good for Russia because with Biden, he's going to cause a World War III, right?
Okay, so Biden, first of all, he's not running for president. Second of all,
Harris.
Oh, Harris is going to cause
I don't keep
World
track
War
of the
III.
Democrats.
And if Donald Trump is elected into office, the Death Star is going to come down to Earth and blow it up with its massive lasers.
What did you just say? That's all Democratic nonsense. You know what I mean? Did you just say they're gonna? What you say?
Just like it's Republican nonsense to say if Harris is elected, World War III is going to start. It's just fear.
It is because under their administration.
And if Trump is elected, the Death Star is going to come down to Earth and blow it up with its massive lasers.
Well, listen. Sorry, but look, it is true. We're closer to World War III now.
And it's true. If Trump is elected, the Death Star is going to come down to Earth and blow it up with its massive lasers. We've never been so close.
No, what is your evidence? Because World War II started with another country invading another country. That's how World War II started. Kind of like what we're right?
Oh my God! No fucking shot. Where's my evidence? I don't have any evidence.
Exactly. And
my evidence, you don't get the fucking point, do you? Just like you're saying, if Harris is elected, she's gonna cause World War III. She's gonna cause World War III, ladies and gentlemen.
My evidence is that. Okay, the World War II started when another country invaded another country in Europe. Under Biden and Harris, that's what happened. That's my evidence.
Wait, did FDR start World War II?
No, he didn't start World War II. But
okay, so then how would Harris start World War III?
Because he allows countries from Europe, in the same way World War II started, to invade another country.
Yeah, but didn't FDR allow that original invasion while he was president at the start of World War II? Meaning that FDR caused World War II?
No, he didn't cause World War II.
Okay, so then Harris didn't cause World War III.
No, but like he's allowed it because Putin did not respect Biden and Harris administration.
Wait, okay, so now you're referencing a foreign tyrannical dictator that violates human rights and has killed people that have opposed him, and you're just baselessly assuming that he has more respect for Trump than Harris. He wants Trump in office because Trump is less of a threat to his regime.
Why
We have
why
leaked
did
Kremlin
Putin did
documents
not invade
suggesting.
Ukraine
One
under
second,
Trump? Tell me why.
sir, if you're not gonna listen to me while I'm trying to teach you, I'm gonna move on to the next guest. So what did I just say? I want you to repeat what I was just talking about before
Yeah,
you
you're
really interrupted me.
you're just basically saying don't trust Putin because he's a communist dictator, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and repeat myself now, little bro. You're gonna listen to me, right? Because if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna move on. What really gets on my nerves is when I'm trying to talk sense into an irrational person, and then the irrational person does not listen and rudely interrupts me. I don't care if you're irrational, but you just act with cordiality, and we have a two-way conversation where we could discuss our disagreements. But when you're irrational and you don't listen to a word that comes out of my mouth, and you interrupt me every single time I try to say something, then we have an issue. So can
All right,
you
go
sit
ahead, go
down,
ahead.
crisscross applesauce, put a bubble in it, and listen while the real man talks?
Okay, all right. Let's let the real man talk then. Go ahead. What's your point?
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. So just back to what I was saying here. So you'd specifically made the claim that Putin respects Trump more than Harris. So Harris is more So Putin is more scared of Harris than Trump, right? We have leaked Kremlin documents suggesting that the reason there's been Russian involvement with the 2016, 2020, and 2024 election was because Putin finds Trump easy to manipulate. Trump would align more ideologically speaking with Putin as well, right? So when you make the claim that Harris is going to start World War III because Putin likes her less, right? Well, I mean, you're just kind of describing the fact that Putin likes the person that he can't so easily manipulate less.
Okay, so what you said,
Liber, thank you for
keyword
the $6
suggested.
on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. And Leslie, thank you for the subscription as well.
All right, so what you said suggested. Okay, that's speculations and assumptions. Okay, so I
Wait,
just
can
wanna
you
say-
please
said
prove to me how it's not
suggested.
speculate? No, it's not a speculation or assumption. That's what the leaked document said. But can you please prove to me that it's not speculatory to say if Harris is elected that she's going to start World War III?
Well, like I said, under them, another country got invaded in Europe.
Yeah, but just like the same way, right? We saw
Yeah, with
countries invading
FDR,
other countries on FDR, but you said that FDR didn't cause World War II. So if it's the case that FDR didn't cause World War II, well, then you couldn't say it's the case that Harris is going to cause World War III.
Well, okay, so yes, I know what you're saying. Under FDR, right? I know what you're saying. What I'm saying, if that did happen, that pushes us closer to World War III. I know it didn't happen with FDR.
Well, the
FDR
difference
did not
here is that
start World War
Harris.
III, or
I
World
mean,
War
like
II.
you understand, right? If we like want to like look at like global conflicts and evaluate the risk factor for how close this would put us to like a third world war, any global conflicts technically would, right? But the question at hand is, well, did the current administration cause these global conflicts? And the answer to
And
that is no.
and I do want to backtrack on what I said. FDR did cause
Can
World
you
War
respond?
II
Can you
because
respond to
World
what
War
I?
II
One
didn't
second, sir.
actually start.
Can you respond to what I said there? Right?
What's that? What's
so, you weren't listening. So there's the second time you just haven't listened to something I said. So you do it a third time, I'm going to move on. Okay? Right? So I said that technically speaking, any global conflict would put us closer in proximity to a third world war, right? On an evaluative scale of like a risk factor of 0 to a risk factor of certain death for everyone. Okay? Right? But the question at hand shouldn't be, is there more global conflict now than under Trump? But it should rather be, did the current administration cause said global conflict? And the answer to that question is no.
Okay, and I disagree with that because
Okay, so how did Biden and Harris cause Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
okay, they caused it by wanting so they want Ukraine to be in NATO. Okay, right? That's true. But Biden and Harris, right?
Is
and
Ukraine
that right
in NATO?
there. What's that?
Is Ukraine in NATO?
No, but they want to, and they were planning on doing it, and that's why
When were they planning on inviting Ukraine to NATO?
they made speeches and said, "Yeah, Ukraine will
When?
be in NATO."
In what year?
In what year? I guess like 2022. Before the invasion happened, they
2022.
were preaching about that.
Okay, yeah.
wanting
So
Ukraine to
actually,
be
Russia
in
annexed
NATO.
Crimea, right, in 2014. Before
Yeah, but
these
that's not
closing
okay.
speeches in
Annex
2022.
annexation and invasion is different. They took a little piece of land
Right,
versus
but that's when they
invasion.
started their Russian advancement towards Ukraine. So
Okay,
to be
very
prior
good.
to the speeches that which would demonstrate that these speeches didn't cause their invasion of Ukraine. You don't know what you're talking about now, do you?
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a question for you.
Okay, what's your question? Go ahead. FDR started World War II, by
What's
the way.
one
Anyways,
FDR did not start. FDR did not start World
yeah,
War
he
II.
let World War II started under him because he allowed one country to invade another country.
Okay. Hey, so do you
anyways,
think
let's move on. Let's
so
move
if
on.
you're just saying if something happens, regardless, if something happens in the world, it was caused by the U.S. president. So I have a question. So when we had the highest rate of unemployment here at home in the U.S. since the Great Depression, under Trump at 14.8%, would you say that was caused by Trump?
I don't think so. I think employment is really high right now. And
No, it's not. But I mean, if we use your the logic you've been giving me this entire time since you joined the live, is if literally anything happens in the world, right? It doesn't even need to be here domestically at home in the U.S. If anything happens in the world, point blank, period, it was caused by the U.S. president, right? This is what you said about Kamala Harris and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This is even what you said about FDR in World War II. So I'm just seeing if you're going to hold your logic consistent.
yes,
Did
because
Trump cause the highest rate of unemployment at 14.8% in April of 2020 since the Great Depression?
okay, let me answer your first part of what you said. So yes, as a leader of the free world, you kind of look over the entire world, okay? As a leader of the free world, and the unemployment rate or whatever, it is whoever the president is, whatever happens under a president's watch, he's responsible for it.
So
Okay,
did Trump cause the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression?
Biden, I don't think so. I think the Harris and Biden administration
But
did. I
that,
don't
but that
think so. My
happened
answer
in
to
the
that is
country
no.
while he was president.
What's that?
But that happened in the country while he was president, April of 2020.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying now. Yes, COVID happened, and then there was no work. I agree with that.
So Trump caused the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression or not?
Yes, he actually. Well, he didn't. Well, yeah.
Okay. Did he also
Because
cause COVID? Because that happened while he was
because of
president?
COVID.
Well, I mean, using your logic, couldn't we also say that Trump caused COVID?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, it happened under his watch, and yes, he allowed.
Trump caused the
I take
worst.
full
Trump
responsibility.
caused the worst international pandemic that killed millions and millions and millions of people in the last 100 years, and he caused the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression.
Yeah,
this guy's
it happened
better
under
than
his
Harris?
watch, and that did happen. But like I said, under the Biden Harris administration, under Fauci, 3 million people would have died if they didn't do that travel ban. You know what I mean? But yes, everything happens under. Yeah, I agree with you with what you said. We had a COVID, we had a pandemic.
So Trump caused a negative net loss in jobs, one of the only presidents to do so. He caused the worst pandemic, globally speaking, since the Spanish flu in 1915. He caused the highest rate of unemployment that we've had since the Great Depression at nearly 15%. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris have caused the lowest rate of unemployment we've had in the last 50 years. They've added 15 million jobs back to the economy, and they increased the deficit less than Trump ever did. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you want to vote for Trump?
Yes, because the pandemic, yeah, we have really low unemployment because of the COVID, there was nobody working, and those jobs, that 50 million you just mentioned, those are bounce back jobs. Those jobs.
So now you appeal to externalities to explain how things happen when a president is sitting in power in the country. See, that's the issue with the logic. I agree with you. I don't think that we could attribute literally everything that happens in a country to being caused by the president, right?
No.
Even the high rate of unemployment at the end of Trump's term, that wasn't caused by Trump. That was caused by the pandemic. But see, the logic you were using was a correlation causation fallacy. You said if anything happens in the world, that the U.S. president is to blame, and that's fallacious. Fern, I appreciate you so much for the subscription. You did this with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, blaming it on Harris. I flipped it around on you, got you to concede that therefore Trump caused the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression, made you look silly. But now I'm just kind of filling you in that no, the president doesn't cause everything that happens in a country or in the world.
Yeah, but as a leader of the free world, everything is kind of they have to look over everything. You know what I mean? They're the leader of the free world, and something happens.
So I was single under Trump, not single under Biden and Harris. Did Trump cause me to not have a girlfriend?
Well, your love life. The president doesn't worry about your love life. You know what I mean? They worry about making America safer and more affordable. In the same way,
like Biden and Harris didn't pass a Dean has a girlfriend bill. They also didn't pass Russia will invade Ukraine bill. We understand that we're gonna see the same misuse of logic in both of these two scenarios. But anyways, would you vote for someone that more likely than not had raped a woman?
Did you just say the R word? He was never convicted of the R word. Okay.
I'm asking you a question.
I
If
would
Trump, would you vote for
I
someone that more likely than not has raped a woman? I didn't ask you about a conviction.
I actually would, because a criminal history does not prevent someone from doing a good job. I actually would, if it was like Trump with his history, like with his like successful businesses and the way he's a good businessman, and he's just the more qualified candidate. Even if he's got
Okay,
a criminal
so if
history, so
Trump had
what?
more likely than not raped a little girl, would you still vote for him?
Um, I would not, because unless he's been convicted and has been found guilty, there's a
So
trial and jury.
raping
I
an
would not.
adult
It's not
woman
just
isn't
because
bad enough, but raping a little girl is?
yeah, because I think there's levels of crimes, and there is. That's why the sentencing is, there's levels of crimes, and something like that. That's like
So
way.
why is raping an adult woman not bad enough?
Well, that right there. I would look. If it's Trump, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you right now. It doesn't matter. Okay. If it's Trump, I know it's shocking, but who cares? Trump. You can't. I mean, whatever crime. Even if he kills somebody on Fifth Avenue, I still vote for Trump. The reason why, because
If
he's
Trump
just.
raped your mother, would you still vote for him?
I would not. Okay. Okay. Look, if it's R. Okay. Here with this. If it's R, then no. Okay. No.
If Trump killed your mother, would you still vote for him?
I would not. I would not. Like I said, if he was convicted, and yes, I would. I would not. I
Okay,
would not. I meant to say.
so I'm just trying to determine right your standard here. So you wouldn't vote for Trump if he raped your mother, but you would vote for Trump if he raped someone else's daughter. Why do you hold a different standard there?
Okay. 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 The R word. Okay. I thought you meant like S abuse, but
I'm
the
talking
R
about.
word. I would not. Okay. Like I said, there's
Okay, so
levels
you
of
want
crimes.
to vote for Trump if he was a rapist. So Trump is a rapist, right? He was held liable by a civil court for the rape of a woman in the 90s, right? So in light of this new information, does this mean that you will not be voting for Trump?
I would not. If it was convicted for rapist, then I would not. Criminally, I would not. If it's S
Hmm.
abuse, where he kind of like harass a woman, whatever, that's just low level crimes. Not, I mean, some people will say, oh, that's high level crimes, blah blah blah. But
So
there's
he was held
levels of
liable
crimes. You know
for
what I'm saying?
rape, yes, for inserting his body into the body of a woman without her consent. Is that
Well,
bad enough?
that's not what he was like criminally convicted of. You know what I mean? And plus, it was
That is what he was held liable for, yeah.
for the S abuse, not for rapists.
Yeah, he was held liable for inserting his body into the vagina of a woman without her consent. Would you agree with me that anything entering into a woman's vagina without the woman's consent is rape?
Yeah, that would. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but what I know, he wasn't. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm just asking you for an answer to my question. Would you agree with me that any part of a man's body entering into a woman's vagina without the woman's consent is rape? Right? Would that fit under your
I
definition?
agree. Yes, I agree with you. That would be.
Yeah.
I think that
So,
would be R, but I don't know. That's really R. You know what I mean? But
okay,
that's
so
what I
then
would
you would
think.
agree here that Trump is a rapist because that is what he was held liable for doing.
No, I would not agree, because he hasn't been convicted for it.
Okay. So would you say that like so he was held liable for it in a civil court, right? Are you saying
Right.
that
And
being held liable in a civil court, right, isn't like sufficient to prove that it occurred?
yeah, which is
Okay.
like
So
you
what's the
can't.
burden of proof in a civil court?
Yeah, I mean, there's really, look. You want me to call him as a R, as a rapist,
Edwin,
right?
so
And
do you know what's the burden of proof in a civil court?
a burden of proof in a civil court. I think it's lower than criminally. So it's like
Right,
the
but I'm asking you if you
preponderance or
know what
whatever.
it is. Congratulations, preponderance of evidence. Right?
But
Cammy, I
he
appreciate
wasn't
you for the
convicted of it. You know what I mean? But like, so like,
Edwin, I'm talking. So you continue to repeat that Trump wasn't criminally convicted of rape. We know that, Captain Obvious, right? He was held civilly liable for it instead because the statute of limitations had passed, meaning that the victim couldn't pursue criminal litigation, right? But if we look at the civil court, right, she suggested through preponderance of evidence to a jury after 2 years spent deliberating inside of that courtroom, right, that yes, it was a fact that Trump had raped her. If you actually look at the evidence, right, that she
right.
submitted into the court of law, and you look at Trump's defense, it becomes more even evidently clear. I'd make the argument with certainty, right, that if the statute of limitations were changed, that this absolutely could be proven within a criminal court. But see, my thing is, I'm not looking to courts. I'm looking to people and what they've done. And if there's been an insurmountable amount of evidence that has been suggested to a court to prove that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll, like it was to the civil court that held him liable, right? That is more than sufficient information for me to know that that happened.
Okay.
So why do you reject the findings of the jury within the civil court? Because you hold to the claim that no, Trump is not a
Okay.
rapist.
Okay. My response to that is, yes, more than likely happened, but
It's
not
not. It's
proven.
not. It's not more than likely. I'd
That's
say
what preponderance is.
it's so that's the minimum standard of evidence, right? So it's just 51% and up, right? But I'd say when we actually look at the evidence submitted in the court, right, there's actually no reasonable right doubt, right? Like for instance, can you name one piece of evidence that the victim submitted in the courtroom?
Absolutely nothing, and also the other side had
Okay, you
nothing
can't name
to
a piece
show
of
either,
evidence
other
submitted.
than
And do you know the name of the victim?
E. Jean Carroll, right?
E. Jean Carroll. So yeah, what piece of evidence did she submit that you would dispute here?
She absolutely submitted no evidence but her words. She has
So that's
no
a big
witnesses,
fat lie.
nothing.
Yeah, she had 7.
She has 7 witnesses
Yeah.
that saw her do it, that saw him apparently do what he did.
No witnesses to her story over the course of the next 14 years. Then medical records from when it happened, as well as a dress with unknown male sperm on it that she claimed to be Trump's from when it happened. Then Trump failed to provide his DNA to the court to be tested against that. A guilty man wouldn't provide his DNA because it'd prove his guilt. An innocent man would provide his DNA because it'd prove his innocence. What did Trump do? He failed to provide his DNA.
Right, and that doesn't prove that he did it by not providing his DNA. That's his assumptions and speculations. You know what I mean?
No, you can't just throw out the words assumptions and speculations, right? When this is a legitimate preponderance of evidence used by a civil court to rule that Trump was guilty in this case, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and go over the evidence once again. So E. Jean Carroll had submitted medical records from the 1990s after it happened, right, stating that she was raped by Donald Trump. Right, there's consistency between the medical records as well as her own testimony, as well as the testimony of 7 witnesses. Right, it's also the case that she had a dress that had unknown male sperm on it that she claimed to be Trump's from when it happened, and she attempted to submit it to the court. Right, however, it was denied from being let into the court as Trump denied to provide his DNA to be tested against, right, the DNA on the dress. And I could think of plenty good reasons for an innocent man to submit his DNA to the court, right? Saving $90 million, saving the negative PR from being labeled a rapist, right? Saving 2 years in the court. And I can think of no good reasons for an innocent man not to submit his DNA. So in lieu of all the information I just shared with you, right, it's incredibly clear that yes, Trump did rape E. Jean Carroll.
Right. To respond to your question, just because somebody didn't provide someone's DNA doesn't prove that he did it.
It's a
and that
preponderance
those
of the
DNA could have.
things. Edwin,
Yeah,
it's a
more than
preponderance.
likely
If
happened.
you,
More than likely
it's a-
happened, but
no,
it's not
no.
proven.
What I just showed you, right? There's no reasonable right defense to the objection. Okay, right? So it's a preponderance of every single thing I just named off. Right? There's no reasonable objection, right, to the conclusion that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll. Can you give me any reasonable defense?
Yes. One reason is that so one reason is that he did not provide his DNA, and that does not mean him doing that action proved that was his DNA on her in the 90s.
Edwin, I literally just responded to this, right? It's every single thing, right? So that is one facet of my reasons why I believe that Trump has raped E. Jean Carroll. But it's the preponderance of everything I just named off. It's not
Yes.
just right that Trump failed to provide his DNA to be tested against the DNA on the dress when he had no good reason to do so if he was an innocent man, right? And any rational person that was in his shoes and was innocent would have provided their DNA. But it's also the fact that there's medical records from the 90s indicating that yes, Trump had raped her, as well as the consistency between said medical records, her testimony, the testimony of 7 other witnesses that remain consistent over the course of 23 years. So it's all those things put together, right? So
Okay.
So why do you reject the conclusion that Trump is a rapist?
I reject the conclusion Trump is a rapist because yes, I know. Okay, so there's a lot of circumstances. Basically, you're saying there's a lot of circumstances that points him of doing it. Okay, a lot of circumstances, but in the end, it's a preponderance. It's more likely than not 100% positive. More likely
No,
than
I'd
not. So
argue.
I just
I'd
want to switch to a
argue.
different
No,
subject.
no,
You know what I mean?
no, buddy. Right. So that's the minimum standard of evidence, right? I'd argue, right, that there's actually no defense for the idea that Trump didn't rape her, right? And it was proven beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, right? You
No,
have no
yeah.
reasonable doubt, right, in this case. And I'm waiting for you to articulate your reasonable doubt, but you can't because it doesn't exist, right? You only have speculatory hearsay and fringe conspiracy theory. Can you
More
please
likely
detail
than
to me
not
what your
is
reasonable doubt is?
speculation. More likely than not, aka preponderance, is speculation. More likely than
I'm gonna
not
go and repeat
versus
this for the second
positively
time.
did it.
I just want you to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? So the minimum threshold of evidence that has to be proven in a civil court is more likely than not. However, I believe that this specific case, right, suggested evidence that would prove beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll, right? And if you would contest this claim, then you'd have to explicitly state your reasonable doubt. But you can't state your reasonable doubt.
Then tell me why the jury did not convict him liable for grape, only for S abuse, but not grape. Tell me why the court
Yeah.
didn't do it. Because
Yeah,
it's
because
more
in the
like
state
they
of
can
New
prove
York,
it.
in the state of New York at the time, grape was defined as the male member entering into the female member without consent. She testified to not knowing if it was his PP or his hands or both, right? So they just held him liable for the sexual abuse that would account for either. But well, I mean, we already went over the fact that under both your definition of grape and my definition of the grape, anything entering into a woman's vagina without her consent would be included. So regardless of what the specific findings of the jury were, we know that yes, he was guilty of grape for that reason.
Yeah, but the jury never concluded to that and they backed out of that one. Now, can I switch the subject
No,
to
Edwin,
Kamala
what did I
Harris?
just say? You just asked me the question, why did the jury not hold him liable for grape? And I answered it clear as day. What was my answer?
Honestly, your answer was because because of the old New York law about the grape, you know, threshold or whatever. But in the end,
You weren't listening to my response.
That's-
I'll
that's
go
what
ahead and
you said.
repeat it. No,
They-
Edwin, I'm going to go ahead and
they
repeat my
viewed grape-
response. I'm going to go ahead and repeat my response. In the state of New York at the time, grape was defined as a male member entering into the female member without consent. The jury held Trump liable for sticking his fingers into her female member without her consent. But we've already colloquially agreed that this would be defined as grape, right? And you know what? The judge in the case actually agreed. He called it grape within the case. And then when E. Jean Carroll went on national TV after the fact and called him her rapist, he tried to countersue her for the reason that the jury didn't hold him liable for that. And then the judge rejected the countersuit for the reason that E. Jean Carroll's claims about him raping her were substantially true.
okay, so basically, old laws, invalid laws that do not apply to the now laws. Okay, to the law in present. The invalid laws from the past does not apply to the laws in present.
I
Okay?
don't reference my definition of grape off of what the law says, and I never will.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about the old laws back in New York in the 90s, blah blah blah. But those laws don't
No,
apply
those
now.
laws were in 2020.
That's why he wasn't found guilty of rape. I mean, grape. Fuck. So yeah. So can we talk about Kamala now about her drug use?
No,
She's a
because
dope
you're
head?
saying once. Whoa, hey, chill, 1 second. So you're specifically still saying, right, that you don't believe Trump is a rapist, right, because he was held liable in a civil court, and I'm telling you that the evidence, right, proved beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that Trump had raped her, and you deny that. So I'm asking you to explicitly state what your reasonable doubt would be to the evidence, and you haven't been
Okay.
able to.
So my reasonable doubt to that is one, you think he okay. So my reasonable doubt is the juries did not find him liable for grape, and I know you're gonna say, and the reasonable doubt is there was no anything linking him to that. Okay, and are you gonna say, oh, back in the 90s in certain
The
laws,
jury
blah, blah,
held
blah.
him liable for inserting his fingers into a woman's vagina without her consent.
Did
Is
it-
inserting your fingers into a woman's vagina without her consent grape?
I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that would be it. But
Right.
it was not.
So we agree that
liable
the
for
jury
grape.
did held him liable for grape, colloquially with how we define the term.
Right. So, anyways, the fact still stands. He was not liable for grape.
Edwin, what do you think it means, right, when the jury doesn't hold him liable for grape?
That
Right?
means then-
because in the state of New York at the time, they defined grape as the male member entering into the female member without consent. The
but
jury
it's
did
not-
not find sufficient evidence to hold him liable for inserting his member into her member without consent. The jury did find sufficient evidence to hold him liable for inserting his fingers into her vagina without her consent. But it doesn't matter what was inserted into her vagina without consent, as we both agreed that anything entering into the female member without consent would be grape, right? So when you make the argument that your reasonable doubt is that the jury didn't hold him liable for grape, well, I made it explicitly clear why that's the case. And I've even continued to detail how it's the case that the judge called it grape in the court case. The law updated the following year, and countersuits from Trump were rejected on the basis that her claims that Trump had raped her were substantially true. Edwin, how many continents are there?
Well, okay, so you asked me those questions, but I can't ask you questions about Kamala. Like, what would I even ask you? Come
I'm
on,
waiting for you to explicitly state your reason about the reasonable doubt to the court case, but it's becoming evidently clear to me as well as the other 2.4 thousand people in here that you don't have one, right? What I've really recognized, Edwin, over the course of the last couple months of debating this issue is that the MAGA supporters that hold to the argument that Trump isn't a rapist are no different from the same fringe conspiracy theorists that would reject that the earth is round or would say that 9/11 was an inside job. You don't have any reason, any evidence, right, to suggest that the findings of the civil court were wrong, right? You only have your emotion, and you ignore and you contort reality to fit and align with your emotions. You're a fringe conspiracy theorist.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, first of all, I'm not part of the jury, so but what I do know as part of the public, you can't call someone a murderer when they haven't been found guilty of murder. You know what I mean? Trump
So
has
he
not
was
been found guilty of rape,
literally found guilty, right, of
not rape,
rape.
S abuse. Yes.
Okay, so Edwin, I'm gonna go over this one last time with you. So, would you say that he's not a rapist because the jury did not define him as a rapist due to the law at the time, not including that?
Yes.
Okay, so when a husband would enter into his wife without the wife's consent in the year 1980 by chaining her down, would you say that he wasn't a rapist because rape in the context of marriage wasn't illegal until the 90s?
Yeah. If the law is the way it's like that, then I would not call somebody a rapist. If the law is like that, then
Okay, really? Yeah, so when white slave owners would kill their black slaves in the 1850s, they weren't murderers because the law
Look.
didn't define it as such?
killing another person can be legal and illegal based on what I'm saying. So in that case, it looks like rape, but is it rape under law? You know what I mean?
I'm
So,
asking you a question. When a white slave owner would kill one of their black slaves, they weren't a murderer because the law didn't define it as such?
yes, it would not be a murder because they didn't get convicted of murder. Okay, if they have been convicted of murder, then you can call someone a murderer.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
So what is a murderer to you? A murderer is someone
Oh
that
my
killed
god.
someone who's been convicted.
Someone that unjustifiably
All right. So, yeah.
unjustifiably, right, kills
So
a human.
a murderer is someone
Wow.
who's been convicted of a murder. You know what I mean?
Wow.
A rapist is someone who's been convicted of rape.
Wait, so Hitler wasn't a murderer because he was never convicted of it?
Has it been convicted? He hasn't been convicted of murder. That
No,
is
he
the law.
hasn't.
Like he's killed people, but is it a murder? Has it been proven under law that he's been a murderer?
No, it hasn't.
In a sense of proven guilty, until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give someone the presumption of
Hitler?
innocence. Yeah, he's a genocidal. He killed people. He's a bad person. But under U.S. laws, has he been tried and convicted here? I know. Has he been tried and convicted here? He has not. So we can't call him a murderer. He's killed people.
Wow. Holy shit. Edwin, buddy. Wow. What?
Yeah, that's come on. Like, look, he killed people, right?
Okay.
Like I said, you can kill people,
wow. That's
To
insane.
defend his country. That's what he did.
So 200
invade
years
other
ago.
countries.
So 200 years ago, when it was legal for a 50-year-old man to marry and engage in intercourse with an 8-year-old little girl, those men weren't pedophiles.
Those, I don't think you can say that word, but yeah, there would be the P word, yes.
Oh,
But that's not.
oh, so that's what it took. So Hitler didn't do the trick, but P3DOs did.
Yeah, but you can't under U.S. law,
Holy
you can't call
shit.
someone
Oh my
a child
god.
or a rapist
Dude.
when they haven't been convicted of a child rapist. You gotta give
Oh
them
my
the presumption of
God.
innocence. You know what I mean? But anyway,
What? Wait. So the 50-year-old men that would marry and engage in intercourse with the 9-year-old girls were never convicted of child rape. Were they child rapists?
I guess you can't call him until there's been until you have to give someone their due process. And
Oh
their
my
trial by jury.
god.
You got to give them the due process.
Oh
Until
my.
they've been
Yeah, he's gone. He got a flag for hate speech. Chat, was that real? Was that fucking real? Oh my god. Wow. Dude, I forget people like this are fucking real. You know, someone in the comment section just said run, Dean, run. Are you real? Are you real? Caden Walker, I want you to hop the fuck up here. Caden Walker 83. Hop up here, chat. Tell Caden Walker 83 to join the live. Tell Caden Walker 83 to join the live. He said, run, Dean, run. Fuck, dude. All right. Hey, for the 2.6 thousand people in here, we're going to go ahead and try out a little bit of a... Yeah, Caden's running right now. Run, Caden, run. We're going to go ahead and try out a little bit of a restart on the stream. We're going to see if we could get the live to send out. I'm going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2.6 thousand people in here. Hit that follow button. Click on that profile picture, and I'm going to be right back, y'all. Tuning back into the stream, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Make sure that we're sharing out this live with a couple of friends as well. And if you don't have any friends, just copy that link, spam that comment section as well. Yeah, it looks like our algorithm here is very limited today, so we just need to try to break through that. We're going to go ahead and move straight on to the debate. So guys, if you're hop in that queue, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? How old are you?
35.
35. What year were you born in?
19.
All right, he's not 35. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest here, y'all. If you are in that queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump for the first 500 people pouring back in here. Welcome back into the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to our next guest. What's up? How old are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm 19.
Nice. Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, actually.
And why is that?
He's just a better candidate overall. I feel like Kamala hasn't really shown her policies and really show what she can do.
Yeah, she actually has. She released, 6 economic policies today, actually.
Can you name what they are, please?
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and pull them up. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. For everybody tuning in here, do double tap. Do share out this live with a couple friends. Y'all already know what to do. Run this live up, guys. Run this live up. Yeah, so specifically, she wants to eliminate medical debt for millions of Americans. She wants to put a ban on price gouging for groceries and food. She wants to put a cap on prescription drug costs above the $35 cap on insulin that they already implemented under the Biden-Harris administration. She wants to allow for a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers, particularly benefiting those who have consistently paid rent on time in their past. She wants to introduce a child tax credit that would provide $6,000 per child to families for the first year of a baby's life, which is bumped up twice as much from what was introduced in 2021. She wants to either expand the ACA or introduce Medicare for all. She wants to reinstitute Roe v. Wade, fighting for the rights of all 170 million American women and girls, with federal protections for abortion. I could go on all day. She wants to reform the TCGA, increasing the tax rates for people making over $400,000 a year, to introduce better benefits for the low and the middle class.
But notice none of her policies has to do with the immigration problem or the fact that the American people need more job opportunities or better education systems.
Okay. Well, first of all, these are only some of the proposed policies. Like I only said, she's already only released her economic policies, When we're going to be referencing the border education, we'd expect these, following the DNC. Second of all, you'd say that education is important to all American citizens. How do you feel about Trump wanting to dismantle the Federal Board of Education?
Dismantle. I won't say dismantle.
He wants to eliminate it.
Where did you get this? I haven't seen this anywhere.
From Trump.
His website?
From him and his speeches. Just look up Trump wants to dismantle Federal Board of Education. It's a fact.
All right, give me a second. I'm going to drop off and come back up when I find this.
You're not going to come back up.
I will, 100%.
I don't think you're going to come back up.
What did you say what did you tell me just search up?
Trump wants to dismantle Federal Board of Education.
All right, I'll come back up.
You're not going to come back up.
I will.
He's not going to come back up. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 27.
Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
All right. So why do you want to grape us in the Oval Office?
He hasn't been convicted of rape, so the preponderance of evidence is not an assignment of guilt. So she just provided.
So both courts are going to be an assignment of responsibility. Criminal courts assign criminal responsibility, civil courts assign financial responsibility, but both would be an assignment of guilt.
No, liability is not an assignment of guilt in a
What do you take guilt to
in the
be?
guilt is when you're guilty or innocent is when you're convicted in a court of law.
Well, I mean, if you're just saying that guilt would be when you're convicted in a criminal court, well, yeah, it's not consign. It's not assigning a conviction in a criminal court, Captain Obvious.
Right, so you can't call him a grape. Now you can say he's liable, but you
Well,
can't
that's not
call
what
him a
I
grape.
mean when I say guilt.
Okay.
I literally, when I say guilt, I just mean it's been proven that this is true of the defendant, right? I don't say, when I say guilt, I don't mean convicted in a criminal court.
Okay, well, as long as we're clear on that. But
Clear on that, the
I
fact that he's guilty and that he's a rapist. Yeah, we are.
I just do you know the information because you I heard we were talking about the Department of Education. Do you know like the statistics about like performance before and after the introduction of the Department of Education or like what
Before
is your basis for saying it's effective?
1973. Yeah, so why I disagree with like the dismantlement of the Federal Board of Education, right, is because a lot of Republican states don't like address adequate funding to right their statewide schooling systems. In fact, we'll see in some red states such as Louisiana that more of the funding that goes to their like statewide schools is accounted through federal in comparison to statewide. And in the abolishment of the Federal Board of Education, right, it also abolishes those federal proceeds sent to the states for education, right, which will essentially mean that kids in California are learning from a different curriculum and have different fundings per student than kids in Louisiana, right? And I think that education is going to be a universal right that should remain consistent, right, regardless of your geographical location, right? And I don't think that kids in Louisiana deserve a worse education than kids in Colorado or California do, right? Anyway, so how
Right.
do you? I just have a quick question. Would you vote for someone here that's attempted to stage a coup to overthrow our government before?
I mean, I would disagree with your characterization as a coup. My question is, why did
If
so
you
they didn't actually obstruct any legal
do, you just mind
process.
if you answer my question though?
Well, if you want to characterize it as a coup, yes, but I don't believe it's a coup. So I feel like it's a false. Like I'm not going to say it's a coup, but I support peaceful assembly, the people that peacefully assembled on January 6th.
Oh, I'm referencing Trump sending fake electorates to 7 different states to cast false votes into electoral college. I'm
Wouldn't they
referencing Trump
just
trying to rig the election.
wouldn't they be faithless electors?
What's
Like
that?
what's the wouldn't they be considered faithless electors?
I don't know what that means.
A faithless elector is someone who basically votes against like what this there was some for like some electors that were supposed to go to Donald Trump like said they were gonna faithlessly elect Hillary Clinton anyway. So
You're
basically they're
referring
ignoring
Hillary
the
Clinton.
will.
I'm talking about the 2020 election. And inside of the 2020 election, what happened, right, was well, like Trump thought that the election was stolen from him because he's delusional or he's just a liar. And then what he did to remedy the fact that the election had been stolen from him was he literally made fake votes for him and sent them to Congress, right? Like there's like 7 states where he was confident that the election had been stolen from him. So then him and his team just sent fake certificates of ascertainments from those states to be certified as real by Mike Pence, just to rig the election straight up, right? So that's a
I,
soft coup.
I mean, like we're gonna that part you may consider a soft coup, but I was specifically referring to J6. But I
Yeah, that's the code
understand.
on J6, right? So yeah, would
Right.
you agree
Okay.
with me here, right? That
I would
Trump
agree
staged a
that the
soft coup
election
against our
was.
government?
I just don't agree with your characterization because let me
Like
just
my
explain.
characterization is something claimed to be true by Trump. Like you understand that him as well as his
Right.
attorneys right now are
If
arguing to the Supreme Court that this is what they did, but it was an official act of his presidency. I mean, you could
is
look
it
up clips online of like Will Barr, right, specifically like arguing right to Fox News that this was just a process to mitigate right the fraudulent outcomes of the 2020 election because of the widespread voter fraud that they reported that never happened.
okay? So what role does the president have in terms of elections?
What role does the president have in terms of election?
Like
Not
securing them,
much.
like verifying they're secured. Like, is he allowed
What do you
to
mean?
ask people to investigate things? Like,
Wait, yeah. The president is allowed to ask people to investigate things, but the president isn't allowed to literally send fake electorates to 7 different states to make fake Trump votes to be sent to Congress. All right. He also went to the Justice Department with Bill Barr. He told Bill Barr just to announce that there had been voter fraud found when it hadn't been. Right, and then Bill Barr ended up resigning over that. And He left. Okay, he ran. We're gonna move on to our next guest. For the 1.8 thousand people in here, I appreciate y'all for coming into the stream. All right, do make sure to double tap away in that phone screen. Do share this live with a couple of friends here today as well. Right, and specifically, guys, if you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna move on to our next guest. But yeah, if you do want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, and it greatly benefits me. Let's move on to our next guest, Pretty Woods Apparel, y'all. If we don't send out on this account, we're just gonna head over to another account. Low-key, this account is pretty shot. Right, haven't been on in a handful of months. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 53.
Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, sir, I am.
And why is that?
Because I'm sick of everything that's going on in America.
Such as what?
I'm sick of the GAY getting thrown in my face all over the TV. I'm sick of hearing.
Dear God, dude. Dear
Sick
fucking God.
Oh my fucking God, what?
Oh my God. You're sick of the GAY being thrown in your face all over the TV?
Yes, I am. I'm
How is
sick
the
of the
GAY being thrown in your face on the TV?
Because every time you turn on TV, that's all the hell you see.
What
Boys
the fuck are
kissing.
you watching? I
Boys-
don't see that every time I turn on my TV. Maybe you're going to a very special channel.
No. ABC, NBC.
You must be going to a very special channel to see that, right? To see boys kissing boys every time you turn it on.
No, I don't watch that shit like you and Parker do.
Wait, you're the one saying that you see it every single time you turn your
every
TV
time you
on.
turn on TV, they get.
Are
a
you
cure
sure it's
for
not every
AIDS.
single time you whip open your laptop at 3 a.m. when your wife is gone?
My wife ain't gone at 3 a.m.
Hiding in the other room, right? Open up that laptop, see boys kissing boys every single time.
You think you're a real badass behind that camera, don't
Were
you?
you one of the people that crashed Griner at the RNC, sir?
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
No worries. All right. So, are you just homophobic or what?
No, they need to keep the shit to themselves.
You understand that the only people not keeping sexual orientations to themselves
Is
are
the
like
Democrat.
straight people like you. You're the only one talking about boys kissing anybody. Right,
I wouldn't
on the
talk
live,
about
quite
it if it
frankly.
didn't get thrown in my face. Just like
Bro,
racism gets thrown in my face.
Who the hell is throwing it in your face, sir?
Democrats.
Name what? Like who? What are they doing? Be more specific. Democrats throw
I'm
GAY
white.
in my face.
I'm white, so I'm racist automatically. They
Oh
don't
my
even
God.
fucking know me.
Listen, bro, dude. All right, we're gonna start off on the first topic. How are Democrats throwing boys kissing boys in your face?
Because that's all y'all talk about is LGBTQ, A, B, C, D. I mean, they keep adding.
Literally,
words
the
to it.
first conversation I've had about the LGBTQ plus community, right,
Well, you ain't
today
been on it
is with
40
you
minutes.
right now. You're the one that brought it up. You're the one that wants to talk about boys kissing boys.
Well, because who am I talking to? When did
Probably
you
a
find
boy you want to kiss? Like older
I'm tired of
millennial?
hearing youth gender affirming bullshit. I mean, that's just
DB,
wrong.
I appreciate you for the champion. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some W's for DB in the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the champion, DB. Hey, buddy. Are you
Gender affirming at birth is wrong. When,
They do not do gender affirming care at birth.
you scroll through the live and see what the hell. I mean, that's what your vice president.
Did you say gender affirming care at birth?
That's what your vice president wants to do.
Thank you for the did you say gender affirming care at birth?
That's what your vice president did in Minnesota.
No. That's
Yeah.
a lie.
Explain it to me. Explain it to me.
Oh man.
You're
no.
educated.
No, give me a source,
When
please.
did you-
That's the craziest thing that I've ever heard. I can't believe that this isn't ironic. I cannot believe that this is not satire. Gender affirming
When did-
care at birth?
When did you and Parker
What
figure
do
out
you
y'all?
think gender affirming care is?
I have no idea. I'm a man. My
You
pronoun.
don't-
My pronoun is he him. That's bullshit.
Wait, you have pronouns?
Yeah, he him. Some of these lives you got to say that before they even let you talk. Ain't that bullshit?
Wait, but I thought but you know, your other like conservative comrades, some of them say they don't even have pronouns. You're actually more progressive than them.
I'm just some of these lives you have to say he, him, or you won't even.
You have pronouns, sir. Sir,
I
you
guess I
have
do.
your pronouns are he, him, huh?
Yeah. When did you and Parker figure out y'all were women?
Buddy, you can't come up on the live, spew like anti-trans rhetoric, then accuse an adult human male with a penis of being a woman. That is like so contradictory.
Well, both of y'all just belittle people, and it's freaking stupid.
Did you just hear what you just said? Thank you for the subscription. Like you can't spew anti-trans rhetoric. You can't you can't vehemently hold this disdain for the LGBTQ plus community and then call an adult human male with a penis a woman. Like that is so antithetical to your anti-trans worldview. Unless you're being more progressive and you're saying that you could be a woman with a penis.
I'm tired. Well, I don't know no more. It kind of.
I don't, sir. With all due respect, I don't know if you ever knew in the first place. I'm just kidding. You just sound like you may have never knew damn thing in the first place.
Y'all say y'all are for veterans. Y'all disrespect the anthem and the flag, and that's disrespecting every veteran that fought for us.
Okay. So you guys say that you're for veterans, and then Trump says that he wants to pardon the violent rioters on January 6th that got convicted of.
What does that got to do with veterans?
I appreciate you for the subscription. Well, it has to do with backing the blue. It has to do with the police, and then we'll go into veterans. Or a lot of cops are veterans, right? So Trump wants to pardon the violent rioters on January 6th. Right, that poked the eyes out of cops, broke their backs, their legs, their spines. Right, Trump himself is also a 5 times draft dodger. He dodged the Vietnam draft 5 times. Right, and specifically speaking, right, can you name one piece of legislation passed by Trump while he was president that was for the veterans?
No, I can't.
Okay, but when we're referencing the Biden-Harris administration, I could reference the PACT Act that was for the veterans. They passed a piece of legislation that invested $800 million into expanding VA healthcare benefits to over 1 million new veterans. And Roberta, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying hello from Alaska. What's going on, Roberta? I really appreciate you for the $10. Let's get some W's for Roberta in the chat. Thank you so much for the $10. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much. W's for Roberta. All right. Hey, so do you support abortion?
I support abortion for certain reasons. Rape, incest, yes, they ought to be, but no, I think
like elective circumstances you don't. So I have a question. would you agree with losing your right to own a gun if it meant that the lives of more innocent children would be saved?
they're not coming to get my guns. That's another thing. I'm all for the Second Amendment right, and I'm going to keep my assault rifles.
Right. So how could you say that you wouldn't give up your right to own a gun, even if it were to save the lives of more innocent children?
How is it saving? How is giving up my guns?
Sarah, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo from Sarah. I really appreciate you for the love, Sarah. Let's get some W's in the chat for Sarah. Thank you so much for the $10. I hope you're having a good day, Sarah, and thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. I'm going to go back to what I was saying.
I respect you for all the money you're making. I really do. I mean,
the only point I was trying to make there
do you report that to the IRS?
Yeah, so I do pay taxes. Anyways, back to what I was saying, right? So you said that you wouldn't give up your right to own a gun, even if it saved the lives of more innocent children, but then you turn around and you say that all 170 million American women and girls are expected to give up their right to health care because you think it saves the lives of more innocent children. Can you explain to me your hypocritical double standard there?
I don't think that's a hypocritical double standard. That's totally 2 different issues.
All right, but in one scenario, you're like, I wouldn't give my right up as a man, even if it saved the lives of more innocent children. But then you're like, well, the women definitely should give their rights up because it'll save the lives of more innocent children.
If it's going to endanger the life of a woman, she ought to be able to have an abortion. But
I'm talking about like the 99% of women who want to get an abortion because they don't want to maintain pregnancy, not out of out of a substantial risk to their life.
That's irresponsible.
Okay. Well, I mean, see how you think that, abortion's wrong not because you care about the fetus or the child, but you think abortion's wrong because you think the mother's acting irresponsibly.
I think it's murder.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man. Are you Christian?
Yes, sir, I am.
What are the first 4 books of the New Testament?
I can't quote the Bible like you, Bubba.
No
I,
worries.
the,
Are
Jesus is
you a patriot?
Jesus is my Lord and Savior.
Uh-huh.
I,
Are you a patriot?
yes.
What are the branches of government?
Legislative. I don't know. There's 3 of them. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
What is Trump's middle name?
I don't care about his middle name, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah, uh-huh. Are you a Republican?
Big time, yes.
Okay. And how many Republican senators are wait, then that's not a good question. How many senators are there?
I don't give a shit about that, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to go over?
Why do Democrats kneel for the national anthem and disrespect the flag? That's disrespecting veterans.
Oh, yeah, so true. Do you think that it should be federally illegal to burn the American flag like Trump does?
If it touches the ground, it should be burned. Yes.
No, no, by like
How did,
violent Democrats.
when did Trump burn a flag?
No, 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 no. Trump wants to make it federally illegal to burn the American flag, right? So do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're not a constitutionalist by any means, right? Because the Supreme Court has ruled that burning the American flag is protected under the First Amendment right to freedom of expression.
Yes, that's the First Amendment right. It's protesting. But
Right. So you'd say that specifically speaking, we should violate people's constitutional right to burn the American flag and send them to jail for a year? It's not very patriotic of you.
why would you burn the American flag, dude?
Well, I don't know, but I know that it's constitutionally protected. Texas v. Johnson, 1989.
Goodness, baby girl, my granddaughter. So, well, you ain't got nothing to say. Usually, you're just a real asshole to everybody.
I'm actually being quite kind to you, sir.
You are. You are.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, we gotta move on to the next guest here, y'all. We're gonna try to keep on keeping on here, to see if this live ever sends out. Also, yo, Parker, that's fucking crazy, bro. That's insane. But if it doesn't push out, we're honestly just gonna go back to one of our backup accounts. If you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. What's up? How old are you?
47.
Okay, you're obviously voting for Trump. I could tell via the weathered flag and eagle in your profile picture.
Why
Do
does
you
the
consider yourself
flag
a-
trigger you?
No fucking way! You just asked me that. You get that from Facebook?
That's
You're RNC robot. That was funny. You're a stereotype.
you're stereotyping. You assume I'm Republican and voting for Trump because I got a flag. Can
No,
a
I assume
Democrat
that you're
be
Republican
patriotic?
and voting for Trump because you're in my guest request in the background says, why are you voting for
Can a
Trump?
Democrat be patriotic?
I'd say Democrats are more patriotic than Republicans.
Really?
Absolutely. Trump tried to stage a coup to overthrow our government in 2020. He also said he wanted to put the Constitution on pause, and he actively advocates for violating people's constitutional rights if they burn an American flag by sending them to jail. Right? Of course, Democrats are more patriotic than Republicans. They want to protect and preserve the state of our democracy, the state of our elections, the state of the checks and balances within our federal government, and they don't want to infringe upon people's constitutional rights. Right? Like Trump does with the First Amendment, and they haven't said that they want to put the Constitution on pause. How can you call yourself a patriot when you support a guy that tried to stage a soft coup to overthrow an election by overthrow our government by rigging an election?
Well, we're running here Democrats for Trump.
Frank, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love. Let's get some W's for Frank in the chat. Massive W's for Frank. Thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Frank. Go ahead.
Dude, how do you get these people to give you $20?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I come on here speaking facts, the truth, right, with evidence every single day of my life. I come on here sitting down false patriots that don't care about our country, that only care about themselves and are probably suffer from high levels of narcissism. I come on here attempting to align people with the objective truth by engaging them in critical thought.
Your objective truth, not the objective truth.
No, it's objectively true.
Other than when you asked this guy about
specific
specific stats about the government, everything else was objective that you were talking about.
It's absolutely an objective fact, right? That Trump staged a soft coup to overthrow our federal government in 2020 by attempting to rig the
Actually, it's
election.
not, because prior to that, he actually asked Pelosi to bring in some of this extra state police, Capitol Police, and also the National Guard, which she actually is caught on video that her daughter videoed, saying it was her fault. She should have actually had more troops there.
Who
Or police
controls the
are
National
on call.
Guard? The Speaker of the House or the DoD?
Speaker of the House.
DoD. The DoD controls the National Guard.
No.
And the
For
DoD,
DC, hold on. For DC, the Speaker of the House actually controls it.
false.
DC is not a state.
Right. False. The DoD controls the National Guard even within Washington, D.C., right? And they didn't send in extra troops, right? And specifically, the
Not
reason
troops. I
was being...
misspoke when I said troops. I meant to say Capitol Police.
Okay, yeah. And the DoD controls Capitol Police, National... Oh, well, they control National Guard.
Actually, Speaker of the House controls the Capitol Police.
That is false,
Okay.
right? But my point was, right, it wasn't even about the violent riots and insurrection upon our Capitol caused by Trump. It was his attempt to rig the election, right? He sent fake electorates to 7 different states to cast false votes into the Electoral College to be counted as real votes to certify him as a president, even though he lost, right? And that is incredibly anti-democratic of him. It was a soft coup against our government. How
So
can
is
you
there
call
a
yourself
direct
patriot when you
link
support
to
that?
him telling those people to do those crimes?
Yes, because he's currently arguing to the Supreme Court that it was an official act of his presidency.
No, that actually was not part of the whole Supreme Court official act as a president.
Yes,
That
it
was
is.
not
It
part-
is.
no, it
It
wasn't.
is.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play you a clip of his lawyer stating that they had said that they had sent alternative slates of electors, right? And that was particularly what he was arguing. But he ran away. But we're gonna go ahead and still play the clip. We're gonna still play the clip, but we are gonna go ahead and get another guest up here just in the meantime. He left, but we're gonna still play that clip. So everybody, look at this.
Conduct, the immune acts in the indictment are stripped away, that Jack Smith doesn't have a case, that this case should be dismissed on that basis. I don't think there's sufficient private conduct here to support the indictment, to support the ongoing prosecution. And that's
Even
what we're
just the
going to be
false slates
litigating
of
in front of the
electors?
district court now.
Even just the false slates of electors, you don't think that would constitute enough for a trial?
Well, we would say alternate slates of electors. And as we argued before the Supreme Court, alternate slates of electors have been...
See what I mean? Anyways, what's up, Ricky? How old are you?
What's up, buddy?
How old are you?
48.
Awesome. Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, probably so.
All right. Why is that?
Well,
Ricky, you got a lot of background noise, buddy. I'm so sorry. Jeff, feel free to unmute that mic, man.
Hello.
Wait, 1 second. For everybody saying CNN is your source, so Trump's attorney went on CNN to be interviewed, right, about the January 6th indictments. Trump's attorney is my source. I just want to clarify there. The logo in the bottom right-hand corner doesn't matter. Go ahead and unmute that mic, Jeff.
Yeah, hello.
Awesome. Are you voting for Trump? Awesome. Why is that?
Because I'm pro-life. That's pretty much it.
Oh, okay. So do you think that like pro-choice legislation kills millions of babies per year?
Yes.
Okay. So would you still vote for Trump if he killed 100,000 children, right? Because at the end of the day, there would still be a net benefit of saving millions.
If there's a net benefit, then I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, so Trump could go kill every single kid, right? And in like, I don't know, Massachusetts right now, genocide them all, and you'd still vote for him.
Well, I think there's more things to consider if you're going that extreme, but I think in like a raw, net question, I would say I would choose for the better utilitarian option.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. That's insane. So just to clarify, Jeff, if Trump raped every single woman in your family, you'd still vote for him.
That, I don't know. That there's a lot of things to consider.
All right, but the net benefit.
Well, there might not be a net benefit in that situation.
Okay, so you're saying that like raping 7 women or whatever like random number we'd assign there would be worse, right? Than killing every single fetus as a result of abortions per year, which is millions, right? Which I agree with you is true. However, right, from the pro-life worldview, that would be false.
I feel like what you just said is less bad than anti-abortion legislation being passed.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so I think anything Trump did do is bad, but I think consequentially, passing pro-life legislation would be better.
Yeah, so if he raped every single woman in your family, you'd still vote for him.
Well, I don't think we're perfect beings. I think we're emotional. So I think I'd make the wrong decision there and not vote for him.
Wait, so you'd say that it'd be irrational for you to not vote for Trump if he raped every single woman in your family?
Well, yeah, maybe, like, consequentially speaking, right?
Got a load of that goober. MAGA cult, folks. MAGA cult. Okay, we're gonna move the fuck on. Dude, I swear to God, these Republicans, these MAGA cultists have the craziest takes known to mankind. It is a cult, ladies and gentlemen. It is a cult. We're gonna go to get our next guest up in here literally right now. Shit is actually crazy. Absolutely. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say, y'all. We're probably gonna take another guest or two, then switch to another account. What's up, Brady? How old are you? All right, Brady's not here. If you're MAGA, let me know down below. We're gonna go ahead and pull you up here. All right, so everybody, just give us a minute to do so, y'all. We're gonna go to get Phil Sutherland up here in the box. Everybody, just be patient while we're getting our next debate going. We may need to switch our accounts here today. All right, we're still just looking for our next guest. What's up? How old are you?
29.
Are you voting for Trump?
Currently, yeah.
And why is that?
Strictly performance-wise, and looking at the last 8 years, from 2016 to 2020, excluding COVID, I think Trump did a much better job in office than Biden and Harris have done in the past 4 years.
Really? I very strongly disagree. Can you name one policy that he influenced to get passed that benefited the middle and the low class more so than rich people?
The 2017 Jobs Act,
it's called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That benefited rich people more than the low and the middle class.
Definitely, there were definitely benefits to the middle class.
But I asked you, can you name a policy that he influenced to get passed that benefits to the low and the middle class more than rich people?
More, okay. So firstly, like, economic was just anecdotally speaking better during that time.
Well, I mean, the economy pre-pandemic was honestly pretty damn good, right? And it was only getting better. But we want to attribute that to Trump, right? A political candy. I appreciate you so much for the champion. Thank you for the love. Unless you could detail to me policy or executive order that he influenced that caused it to be better, right? Would you be able to tell me the policy?
I'm not in politics every day. I'm just an average citizen.
Yeah, so you're just kind of using correlation, causation, logic here. You're like, well, it happened while he was president, therefore it's caused by him. At the end of his term, we saw the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression. That happened under his presidency too. Was that also caused by him?
Yeah, obviously it wasn't.
Right, so we can't just attribute everything that happens in the country to being caused by a president unless we could isolate for external variables, right, and demonstrate how they cause it through policy and executive order.
I guess switching notes, since you're looking for specific policies, the world was a much more peaceful place during that time.
I mean, it wasn't at peace. It was more peaceful. Yeah, sure. We didn't see Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Right, Israel's genocide of the Palestinians, right? We didn't see these things, and they're definitely probably worse than what we had going on in the world under Trump. However, it's the case that I don't think we would be able to attribute those to the Biden-Harris administration, and for that reason, that wouldn't give us any reason to vote for Trump over Harris. Ryan, thank you for the $25 on Venmo, saying here's your Soros check. Thank you for the love, Ryan. Let's get some W's in the chat for Ryan for the $25 on Venmo. Seriously, thank you so much for the love, Ryan. Massive W's in the chat right now for Mr. Ryan. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much, man. Massive W's for Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. Massive W's. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I guess if you were gonna sum it up in a nutshell, why should, for a voter that's on the fence, why should they vote for Harris?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think there's going to be two main categories why you should vote for Harris over Trump. The first category is going to be character, right? He's a rapist. She isn't. He's a racist. She isn't. He's a fraudster. She isn't. He's a felon. She isn't. It's also the case that he imposed a Muslim ban while he was president, or at least tried to, which was religious persecution by definition. He also tried to stage a soft coup to overthrow our federal government by rigging an election, right, which is also something she didn't do. Right, he's also sexualized little girls, saying that he did a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Right, he's also said that he likes to grab women by the P word without asking them first, right, without consent. Or he's boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teen girls in Miss Teen USA to quote unquote do inspections, right. Right, and then when we're talking about policy here, right? He passed no policy that benefited the low and the middle class more so than rich people, but the Biden-Harris administration passed 5, right? The PACT Act, the Chips and Science Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan, right? He elected 3 justices to the Supreme Court to take federal protections away from all 170 million American women and girls access to abortion. Meanwhile, she's actively fighting for it to be federally reinstituted. It's the case that he perpetuates, racism, Christian nationalism, and further political division by radicalizing the right into the MAGA voter base, while also perpetuating income inequities by benefiting rich people, by serving a detriment to poor. Right? There's a lot of reasons here.
Okay. Definitely something to consider. I mean, yeah, I'm super curious to watch like the debates and stuff, and yeah, I think it'll be really interesting.
All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you for coming up.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to move on to our next guest. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, give us a minute here. Let's get to see what Mike has to say. We're gonna end after this, guys. I'm gonna go live on another one of my accounts, chat. I don't know which account. I'm just gonna see which one is free. Heidi, thank you so much for the champion. I appreciate you for that love. Let's get some W's in the chat for Heidi. Seriously, thank you so much for the champions. W's in the chat for Heidi. Thank you so much. We'll probably end up going live on DNC Dean. We'll see though. Just because I don't know, this account doesn't have algorithm, unfortunately. All right, let's see here. Jessica's not connecting. We're gonna go. Honestly, we're gonna go ahead and end now. So chat, we are gonna go live on @DNC Dean. It's possible that we may also go live on @Dean Get a Grip if that account is unbanned. We got a day ban yesterday. I don't know if it's still day ban, but I guess we'll see. Anna, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for enlightening Americans idiots with logic and facts. It's so kind of you. Thank you, Anna. So y'all check @Dean Get a Grip and check @DNC Dean. I'm gonna be live on one of those 2 accounts. For the 2.5 thousand people, I'll see you there. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you on my other accounts. Bye bye.
The border.
Sir Republic, you're in the live, buddy. All right, guys. The first guest is always the worst guest to find. I swear to God, that's always the case. The first guest is always the worst guest to find. All right, we're going to go to move on to our next guest here. What's up, Jacob? How old are you?
24.
Are you voting for Trump?
Duh.
And why is that?
Because I'm not a scrawny little bitch like you.
I could take you in a fist fight.
No, you couldn't. I promise you.
Sure could.
What do you bench?
What do I bench? 255 at the moment.
Cap. Why are you voting for Kamala? Give me
Elan, I
like 5
appreciate you for the $4
policies you really like.
on Venmo. 5 policies? Sure.
Yeah, 5 policies.
Chips and Science Act, PACT Act, Infrastructure Bill, Inflation Reduction Act, and American Rescue Plan. Now name one policy that Trump influenced to get past that you like.
You got me.
I did, because you came up here and you said.
Now let me ask you this.
But then I challenge your masculine ego, all right? And I just diss back the same shit you gave to me, bro. You're a fucking caveman. You're a legitimate fucking caveman. You don't have a brain in there. You have 2 rocks click clacking. Lights are on. Nobody's home, right? You are a shell of a human. Like what the fuck? I want to fight you. You're so scrawny. You're a bitch. Like, bro, dude, come the fuck on, okay? Unmute your mic. I want to see all 70 of your IQ points, right? Put in action at once. Tell me why Trump is better than Harris.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's fair that when Trump said he was going to impose no tax on tips, you think it's fair that the media was shitting on him, saying it was going to cost the government billions of dollars over the next 10 years, but when Kamala did it, they're praising her for it? You think that's fair?
No, I don't.
All right. That's something we can agree on.
Yeah. So when they propose the same policy and we see like partisan media taking one stance towards one candidate that they
No, it wasn't part of it. It was all CNN.
Of course,
it
that's
was
not fair.
CBS.
Of course, that's not fair. Right? Like, of course, I'd agree with you there. Of course, that's not fair. Right? Unfortunately, we live in a country with partisan politics. Fox News would do the same thing. Right? That's just the state of our country. Anyways, could you tell me why you want to vote for the greatest felon fraudster that attempted to overthrow an election through the use of a soft coup?
Realistically, I'm not for open borders at all. I am not for any transgender anything. I don't like Tim Walz. I live in the state of Minnesota. He has turned this state to shit.
Okay, so you're not for open borders. Do you think that we currently have open borders?
I mean, the Border Patrol does not support, Biden.
Do you think that we currently have open borders?
It's not that we have open borders. It's that they don't give a fuck. I mean, millions of immigrants are passing every day.
Do you think that we currently have a border? Millions?
Not millions. Thousands every day.
Okay, yeah. So do you think that we currently have a crisis at the southern border?
Kinda.
Okay, so would you say that
I also think that we're
would you say that we had a worse crisis right at the southern border at the end of Trump's term when we had more daily crossings than we do now?
I don't know. I'll just be honest. I don't know.
Okay, so earlier you were talking about
here's the thing.
One second.
We're sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Buddy, we'll talk about Ukraine next. We'll talk about Ukraine next.
Hold on. We're sending
I wanted just
hundreds
to make a point.
of billions of dollars to Ukraine, but
buddy,
Trump can't have $6 billion to build the wall. That would stop that.
Buddy, I've been trying to make a point. 1 fucking second, little bro. So earlier you referenced partisan politics, right? So you said when Trump wanted to introduce no tax on tips, they said it would cost the government a lot of money. But when Harris wanted to implement the same thing, it wouldn't have, right? So do you see how you're acting, right, in that same, tribalist, biased fashion when we're referencing a crisis at the southern border? Because you're saying for certain, right, we do have a border crisis today, but we didn't have a border crisis even when there were more crossings under Trump?
That's false. Can you show me an article where it says that? Or can you give me a...
Customs and Border Patrol, go to January of 2021. You'll see 25.
Is that a .com? Is that a .org? What is that?
Customs and Border Patrol's a .gov.
All right. Well, what do you want me to search? You just want me to go to that website?
Customs and Border Control daily crossings by month. Look at January of 2021. Compare it to now.
All right.
Dude, I swear to God, what is going on with the guest today, ladies and gentlemen? I really don't fucking know. And he left. Could have guessed that from a mile away. All right, we're gonna go to mute that mic, get that account. Guys, if you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, y'all. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Awesome. What year are you born in?
2005.
Why did you sound really not confident about that?
Dude,
what
I'm
year did you
19.
graduate high school?
2017.
You graduated high school in 2018?
Dude, I'm 19. Come on.
If you're 19, how did you graduate high school in 2018?
I didn't. I graduated 2 years ago.
What grade are you in?
I'm 19, bro.
So
I swear, just debate me. Just debate me. Come on, man. Why you?
Are
Come
you
on.
in college?
Yeah, I'm in college. I go to Iowa University.
So what grade level of college are you in?
I'm a freshman.
If you graduated from high school 2 years ago, you'd be going into your junior year.
Well, I didn't do college my year out of high school. I moved to Colorado and I just moved back to Iowa.
You took a gap year?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you graduated 2 years ago, it would have been 2 gap years.
No, it would have been 1 because I graduated in 2022.
I graduated 2 years ago. I'm going in my junior year. We're gonna go to move on to our next guest. I'm sorry, I was just fucking with him. Ah, man. All right, we're gonna move on. What's up, human? How old are you?
I'm 29. I'm old.
Are you voting for Trump?
I don't even care. Just take me off. I'm mad at you. You really pissed me off last time, so I'm not going into detail.
No, please debate me. Ah, I pissed her off. She's mad at me. Ah. Wow. She's crying. Okay. Moving on. If you're voting for Trump, let me know down below. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh, jeez, Rick. This isn't fun. What's up, Jill? How old are you? Jill, are you here? Oh, jeez. We're not sending out on this account either. Low key, we're sending out better on the main account. Hey, for the 1.3 thousand people in here, we're heading back to the main account. I'm so sorry. We're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on today. So for everybody in here, head over to @itsdean, right? On TikTok. Spam the chat when we get back in there. Spam the like, spam the shares. We're just not sending out anywhere today, bro. I'll see y'all there. Raid that account. Raid that account. When I go live, spam Dean raid in the Lynn, Kazi, Claire, Percy, DTM, Kaylor, Lindsay, Oriana, everybody tuning in to the live. Double tap on that phone screen. For the first 300 people in here, welcome into the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Do double tap away on that phone screen. Do share out this live with a couple friends as well. And hop in that queue if you're voting for Trump. We're going to go ahead and hop right back into the debates, ladies. So good to see you all. Welcome into the live. What's going on, Gainer Jay? What's up? How old are you, buddy?
I'm 53.
All right, are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
All right, what's up?
Oh man. So, give me your stance on the new grocery gouging that she's going to bring up today. Do you have a stance on that yet?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'll tell you when I have it developed. I'm not that quick, right? So why are you voting for Trump?
Because I'm a capitalist.
Oh, you're a capitalist. So you support capitalism. You support like
Yes.
free flow of labor, right? So not only is it the case that Kamala Harris is going to be capitalist, every nominee that we have in the presidential race would be, but it is the case. Well, then would you support an open border because a closed border would restrict the free flow of labor into our country?
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you need to have people coming in your country 100% for sure, but we should manage it better than we do now. On both Democrats and Republicans, to be honest with you.
So how does the fact that you're a capitalist give you reason to vote for Trump?
What's that?
How does the fact that you're a capitalist give you reason to vote for Trump over Harris? Like, for instance, I'm a capitalist, but I don't think that gives me reason to vote for one candidate over the other because they're both capitalists.
Some of her policies lean away from capitalism, such as let me think of some good examples. She wants
Sharon, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you for the love, Sharon.
She believes in single payer health insurance. She believes in people that come to the country illegal to give them, I forget the three stances she has on that, but education. And I mean, the thing is, I just believe that people should come to the country legally, and they should, and then once they're here legally, should have the same rights as a U.S. citizen, but they should.
Kaz, thank you so much for the champion. I really appreciate you for that love, Kaz. Let's get some W's for Kaz in that chat. Thank you so much for the champion. Go ahead.
But so I think she has some of her policies lean away from capitalism. I mean,
I just want to clarify here. No, so there's no such thing as quote unquote leaning away from capitalism, right? Because when we're referencing like academia, how we define what capitalism is, how we define what socialism, communism are, we have very strict and clean-cut, clear definitions of these things because of their practical application within academia, and that's a fact, right? So all that capitalism is the privatized means of the privatized ownership of the means of production. Socialism would just be the worker, where the workers would own the means of production, right? And that's a fact, right? So like universal health care for all, right? This is not leaning away from the privatized ownership of the means of production in the slightest, right? So now that we have that out of the way, something else I'd like to address here when you're referencing the border, right? Well, I mean, it is the case, right, that Trump has continually thwarted, right, good border policy that would have stopped, right, like undocumented migrants coming in here through legal processes to the same rate that they would be now, and it would have allowed for more effective legal more effective means of safe and quick entry into our country through a legal system, right? And Trump thwarted that because he wanted to be able to use that as a campaigning talking point within his bid for re-election in 2024.
That is true.
Yeah, my question for you would be, would you vote for someone that has more likely than not sexually abused a woman?
With the problem with that statement is I do not want to that's a tough subject, and you're talking about Eugene Carroll, I take it.
Eugene Carroll, yes.
Yeah. I don't know enough about that case. The little I know about that case, and I do not like to blame or doubt a victim, so that's why it's hard to even talk about this exact thing. But I feel like the case itself, there's things about it that I felt like it was an attack on Trump.
Such as what?
Well, first of all, the timing of it.
Oh, dude, the court case was started in 2019 because the ACA changed the statute of limitations for bringing the court cases forward, right, in civil courts because of victims of rape at the hand of church fathers, right? Nothing to do with Trump, all right? But I feel like, right, like if she was doing it, right, because she didn't want him to win the presidential election, and it was all a big fat lie, that she would have brought it forth in 2015 when Trump wasn't an incumbent and didn't already have, right, a statistically near certain chance at winning re-election.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at that point she didn't, after seeing him, and, people that hate Trump I mean, you look at that case and then you look at the other cases as well. I mean, like the hush money case with the third, I know you're going to call him a felon. That's your next thing you're going to say. And first of all,
you're talking about a legal system holding Trump accountable for his wrongdoings. I'm so surprised by the amount of Trump supporters, right, that will use our legal system as well as our media holding Trump accountable for the legitimately horrendous things that he has done, right, as more reason to vote for him, right? You say that, oh, this guy's our savior, right, and this is the deep state attacking him for wanting to come in here, save us and save America. I mean, bro, dude, if I ever run for president, I know that all I have to do, right, is just do the most morally atrocious things known to mankind, be called out for it by the media and be held accountable for the court of law, turn around and tell my voter base that this is the deep state attacking me for wanting to save you all and to be like the second coming of Jesus, right? So specifically speaking, this should show you that they're afraid of me and this should give you more reason to vote for me. E. Jean Carroll's a private citizen that had medical records from the 90s indicating that she had been raped by Trump, alongside the testimony of 7 witnesses and sperm on a dress, right, that she claimed was his, right? This had nothing to do with any political party. This had nothing to do with good timing. She wasn't a liar. In fact, the court proved, right, that yes, Trump had raped her. And then you turn around and with no sufficient reason, only your emotions, right, say that court was fraudulent, right? It's just incredible how far you're willing to go to contort reality to fit your MAGA narrative.
Well, what you're telling me that I'm voting for him because of these things, and you brought that up, so that's why I even talked about that subject. That's not why I'm voting for him. I'm voting for him for, when in 26, the first part of his term, probably the first 2.5, 3, until COVID hit, really, he was doing a lot of good things. Everything was going pretty well. Matter of fact, his approval rating was somewhere around 49% at some time. So even some Democrats thought he was doing some things well. And then,
so what's one policy that he influenced to get passed that you really agreed with?
I would just say in general, I don't know about exact policies, and I know this is what everyone goes to, but I would say in general he had inflation low, prices were low, he had unemployment low.
How did the Biden-Harris administration cause inflation?
I never said that he caused inflation. COVID caused inflation, and the war in Ukraine and Russia is probably the main factor of that.
Right, but when you're going to be referencing the state of the economy prior to COVID, and you're going to be using this as a good reason to vote for Trump, well, I mean, if you can't demonstrate to me policy or executive order that he used to make the economy so good, well, then you just be operating on the basis of a correlation causation fallacy. You're just saying because it happened and he was our president, he's to blame. Well, I didn't have a girlfriend while Trump was president. I do now since Biden and Harris have been in our administration. Does this give me
you should vote for Biden
Harris to keep my girlfriend?
You should. I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, he was doing. I just feel like a lot of people had to admit that he was doing a good job, and we were staying out of major conflicts, and although there was things going on in the world, still it wasn't a perfect world. There wasn't large conflicts going on that were affecting.
He caused the largest internal conflict and attack on our federal government since the Civil War when he tried to stage a soft coup to overthrow our government in 2020.
At least you say soft coup. I give you credit for that. And why do you call it a soft coup? Because there was no weapons?
Well, I mean...
Did I knocked you right off your chair on that one, Dean?
And there we go. I'm back. Sorry, my mic unplugged.
No
I'd
problem.
call it a soft coup because I don't really want to debate about the insurrection right upon the Capitol that did involve violence, right? So it's just easier to use like rhetoric that is like like not so easily right argued against, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like an objective fact, right? An uncontestable fact of reality that Trump launched a soft coup against our government by specifically trying to rig the outcomes of the 2020 election.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think if he was really trying to overthrow the government that they would have been armed and would have like, I mean, that was a...
No, I actually don't think that.
Sorry about that. Had a call.
Yeah, no, I actually don't think that. I think the way that he really tried to overthrow the government was the best way he could have done it, right? Because if he just went up in arms, well, then all of a sudden it would be evidently clear to every single American citizen, even the MAGA voter base, that this guy's is attempting to be a tyrannical dictator. But the way that he did it was a little bit more like covert, right? Under the guise, right, of Joe Biden attempting to steal the election, in which he then came in as a true American hero and quote unquote tried to steal it back by fraudulating Trump votes for him in the electoral college, right? I think that he did what I would consider to be the perfect plan to stage a coup to overthrow our government, internally speaking, and very fortunately it didn't work because of one man being Mike Pence, placing the Constitution above Trump, not certifying the false Trump votes, right? But I just don't see how you could sit here and tell yourself that you want to vote for a rapist, felon, fraudster with a vehemently racist and sexist past that has literally tried to stage a coup to overthrow our government, right, through the use of a violent insurrection, and say that you're going to vote for him over, right, this incredibly intelligent, right, woman who wants to protect and preserve the state of our democracy, fight for the freedoms of all, reduce income inequities, right, and hopefully propel the U.S. in a positive direction, socially speaking and economically speaking.
That was well said, but I would bet you 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, we're not saying the same thing about Kamala Harris. I'm pretty much sure you weren't, because most Democrats and most people were trying to like get rid of her and trying to figure out who they were going to try to get the guy from California, get Newsom and other people in that spot. And when they felt like they had no choice, that's how she ended up being selected. And now everyone's acting like she's the greatest thing that ever, walked the earth. And
Dude, you could put fucking anybody next to Trump, and
there you go.
By contrast, they look like the greatest thing to ever.
Well, then say that then, because that's what you really feel.
No. What I really feel like is, we see someone that actually wants to advance America, progress our society, wants to fight for the reproductive freedoms of all 170 million American women and girls, wants to reduce income inequities by raising the marginal tax rates on people making over $400,000 a year, to increase the child tax credit, to increase, like a renter's tax credit, to increase a tax credit to people making under six figures, right? That wants to fight for the rights of marginalized communities such as the LGBTQ+, the African Americans here at home in our country, has historically increased the funding sent to HBCUs, right? Wants to expand ACA or introduce Medicare for all. Then we compare that to the racist, raging lunatic that tried to overthrow a government with the use of a violent coup that took away reproductive rights away from all 170 million American women and girls, that particularly has raped a woman and has sexualized little girls, sexualized his own daughter, right? Of course, right, there's a stark comparison to be made there. And he ran the fuck away because he's terrified of someone that's smarter than him. Let's get some runner emojis in that chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some massive W fucking runner emojis in that chat, because that guy absolutely fucking ran. See, that's what happens when you absolutely school these people. That's what happens when you school these people. What's up, Daly? How old are you?
44.
Are you voting for Chomp?
Absolutely.
Yeah, why the hell do you want the lunatic Cheeto man that tried to overthrow our government to be a president?
Well, first of all, that's a false narrative, so I don't understand why we're starting with a false narrative.
What's a false narrative?
He didn't try to overthrow the government, so that's a false narrative. Well, he said, let's peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard. That was the verbatim quote.
You're talking about the protest outside of January 6th on the Capitol, right?
Right.
Well, by the way, by the time he tweeted that, right? And
no, he didn't. He didn't tweet that. That was his speech.
Right. I just want to put it out there. The reason I say he tried to stage a soft coup, he did tweet that.
You got to get your facts straight before you talk.
So my facts are straight. That was on 2:12 p.m. Mountain.
I'm not talking about the tweet.
On Twitter.
No. The speech that he gave before The protest where he said,
where he told them to fight like hell. Got it.
No,
You know
yeah,
what?
fight
He
is a word that
referenced
the Democrats.
fighting.
No,
He
hold on.
referenced
Fight is a
fighting
word.
12
Fight is a
times,
word.
and then he referenced the peacefully protest twice. Okay. Anyways, that's not even what I'm referencing. The attempt of his to overthrow our government, right, for me doesn't even revolve around the protesters at the Capitol. I think that was a violent insurrection, but it's a completely different topic. The coup, right, came from him sending slates of fake electorates to 7 different states to cast fake Trump votes to the Electoral College to be certified as real by Mike Pence and the rest of the Senate to make him the illegitimate president of the United States of America. That was the coup that he tried to
I
stage.
think the actual coup came from all of the ballot harvesting and all of the changes in the legislation and all of the mules that you sent around to dump ballots off everywhere. So I mean,
But see, none of that shit ever happened.
Yeah, but
None
it
of that-
actually
literally
but it
every
actually
single
did, but
thing
it
you
actually
just said
did,
never
But
happened.
it actually did.
Give
And
me
there's actual
proof.
cell phone data and video data to prove it. If those data was presented in a court of law, it would be enough to convict someone of a crime. See, you guys are just in denial and you try to control the narrative because all of the fact checkers are on the left. And the fact of the matter is that you guys are full of shit.
Okay, so you're actually the one that's full of shit. The cell phone data that you're
Actually, I'm not.
referencing.
Actually, I'm not.
Well, then why are you so scared to let me respond? If you knew, if you
No,
were,
I'm
if
letting
you
you.
were,
I'm
if
letting
you were
you
aligned with the
respond.
truth, then
I'm
you
letting you
wouldn't be scared to
respond,
let
but
me
I know
respond.
what you guys typically do is just run all over Republicans and say, I'm not going to let you do that to me in this.
Well, dude, if you thought that what you believe in was the truth, then you wouldn't be
Well,
scared of
go ahead and
scrutiny.
talk, man.
But it's so funny how incredibly scared of scrutiny
go
you
ahead.
are,
No,
which
go
means that
ahead.
you know
No, go
what
ahead.
what
No,
you believe
go
in is
ahead.
false.
Quit talking about how I'm scared and go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you want to quit, if you want me to quit talking about how scared you
No,
are,
go-
then let me
no, no,
speak.
no,
Because
no,
if
no,
you're
go
aligned
ahead.
with truth,
Go
well,
ahead,
okay,
please,
am I gonna have to put
please.
you on mute and put a little?
No, I'm asking you to talk. Go ahead.
Right. Well, you're talking over me. So which one is it? Do you want me to talk or do you want to talk? Which one
Well,
is
go
it?
ahead. Go ahead and make your point.
Right. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and make my point now for the last time. It's just hilarious, right? How people on the right will hold to the fringest conspiracy theories known to mankind, and they are
It's not a
so scared of
conspiracy theory.
scrutiny. There he goes again. And he's so scared of scrutiny for his conspiracy theory that when an intelligent person like me starts to talk about it and split it up and show how it's a false narrative, they interrupt, they throw the ad homs, they won't let you speak because they know it's not true. Okay, but let's go ahead and talk about the ballot harvesting, right? So this whole thing about the 2,000 mules, sending mules around, collecting ballots, doing ballot harvesting, and they all knew this through cell phone data. So there's a couple facts here. First of all, they bought that cell phone data from a larger conglomerate, but they discarded the cell phone data that didn't align with their theory. They bought a fuck ton of cell phone data. The vast majority of it didn't align with the theory of going ballot box to ballot box. So they just disregarded that cell phone data. So when they took their incredibly selected sample of the cell phone data that did align with the individual ballot boxes, well, they only had a wide range of about 1,000 feet. So they didn't even know if they were inside, right, of the ballot counting facilities. They just said that they were because they were in the general proximity. They also don't know that they took ballots. They just said that they were. They didn't even have any reason to do that. They just did. And then they put it into a movie. And you know what happened to that movie, 2,000 Mules? It was pulled from every single movie theater in America, specifically because it was misinformation and it was bullshit. But we don't even need my logical expertise to debunk these claims. We could just reference the 63 courts that Trump brought this case that the election was stolen to, and every single court threw it out, including 34 courts with Republican-appointed judges and 17 courts with Trump-appointed judges, right? This is big lie propaganda. This is strictly defined as being such in the Mein Kampf, right? And this is what Trump was perpetuating. He started perpetuating this big lie propaganda that the election was going to be stolen from him months before the election occurred on September 9th with his debate with Biden. He told the Proud Boys to go stand back and stand by the polls to intimidate Democrat voters, right? And then there's leaked audios on October 9th and January 31st of him telling his chief strategist, right, and chief of operations at the White House exactly what he was going to do on election night, that being going to the podium, calling the count, saying that he won even if he was behind, and then saying that all of the mail-in ballots were going to be rigged, and that's exactly what he did. Starting on November 9th, he went live on Fox News and said that the ballot was, that the vote was being stolen from him, and that all the votes for Biden were illegal, and if you only counted the legal ones, he would have won. Everything I just said was a damn fact, and I'm so happy to debunk this MAGA fringe conspiracy theorist.
No, everything you said is not a fact, and I wouldn't use the word intelligent to describe yourself. I think that's a bit of a misnomer, man. The fact of the matter is this cell phone data that you're talking about being debunked. There are over 2,000 people who we have on video literally going from ballot box to ballot box to ballot box, taking pictures of them dropping ballots off in the mail, covering their faces. It's very obvious what's going on. Being a cheater is a badge of honor in the Democrat Party. And the fact of the matter is they've been cheating in elections for years. This is not a new thing. If you weren't cheating, then you wouldn't care about things like voter ID and things like that, which require, I've got to have an ID to go buy alcohol. I've got to have an ID to go buy a cigarette. I've got to go have an ID to, do all sorts of things, right? But Democrats say, oh, that's voter suppression because you act as if black people are too stupid to go get an ID, which is not the case. Black people are intelligent. It's really racism on your end. You guys use racism as a card all of the time because you don't have any actual talking points when it comes to issues. The fact of the matter is you lose on the issues every single time. And to use the word intelligent to describe that type of propaganda is absolutely insane.
Yeah, so we have a fact check from AP News, a fact check
Well,
from
a
the
fact
Denver
check.
Post.
All the fact checkers lean liberal. What is your
Hey,
point?
buddy, I just let you talk.
What is your
let
point?
Me talk? Are you going to
go
let me
ahead.
talk?
Go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, so, the reason I let you ramble there is because it ultimately makes you look worse. Like, when you come on
It
my
actually
live and you
doesn't.
start saying that, like these fringe conspiracy theories are objective proof and I'm spreading
Fringe
propaganda.
conspiracy
Hey,
theories.
so, buddy, once again, right, if you really believe in what you say, if you think it's true, then you wouldn't be afraid of my scrutiny. I sat back,
I'm not
I put
afraid of
myself
your
on
scrutiny.
mute,
Your
and I let-
scrutiny doesn't
so-
stand up to scrutiny, though.
Daily, here's what we're not going to do. I stood back. I put myself on mute. I let you talk until you finished. Did I not?
Go ahead, man.
That's what I thought. Like, see what I mean? Like, if you truly believe the words that you were saying,
No, I
you
do
wouldn't be
believe the words, 'cause
See what,
I know
see what
the
you're
words
doing
I'm
it
saying
again.
are
So what is it going to be? Am I going to have to put you on mute, or are you going to act your age?
Are you going to act? Am I going to act my age? We're having a dialogue here. Do you know what a dialogue
Was
is?
it a dialogue? Well, no, it's not a dialogue because a dialogue would have two parties actively engaging in a productive conversation with one another. What's happening?
we
is
are
I'm sitting back.
actively
So what
engaging.
is it going to be? Are you going to stop talking and let me speak, or am I going to put you on mute? Like, listen, I'm being so cordial
Wouldn't you
right now.
agree that we're
I'm giving
actively engaging here?
daily. One second. So there's the fourth time. What am I going to do? Am I going to put you on mute? Really? I don't want to do that, dude. So just
Okay,
wait
well,
your
talk.
turn.
So go ahead and talk then.
I've been attempting to talk this whole time, and then you've been interrupting me this whole time. So what is it going
It's
to be? Am I
just
going to
that-
put you on
okay,
mute?
my issue,
Daily.
Mike.
So there it is once again. Daily, am I going to put you on mute, okay? Or will you sit back and listen? You have two options. And this is how I know that you know what you're saying is bullshit, or else you wouldn't be afraid of the scrutiny. So now
I
I'm
know
going to go
it's
ahead and talk
accurate.
without
Go
See what I
ahead
mean
and
there
talk.
again?
Go
Chat,
ahead
there
and talk.
again. I want
Go
y'all
ahead
to
and
start
talk.
I want y'all to start counting the times that this guy interrupts me. But I'm not going to mute him, right? Because I want y'all to count the times. So Daily, unmute your mic. I want you to exhibit self-control. Here we go. Start counting the times, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. Count how many times he interrupts me. So anyways, this is how I know that he doesn't believe the bullshit that he's saying, or else he wouldn't be interrupting me, because he wouldn't be afraid of the scrutiny, okay? Because truth is never afraid of scrutiny. So what you're referencing here is this fringe conspiracy theory, this misinformation that people took ballots out of the ballot boxes, and this was all tracked through cell phone data. I've already debunked this, right? I told you about the fact that they only bought the cell phone data of data that roughly aligned with their hypothesis. They ignored that didn't. They also roughly assumed where the cell phone data was being tracked to, because they only get it within like a half a mile radius. So then they just said that it was at the ballot boxes. We have no evidence of those ballots being stolen. We have no evidence of widespread voter fraud to overturn the results of the 2020 election. That is all bullshit. This has been debunked by AP News. Look up Fact Focus, gaping holes in the claims of 2K ballot mules. Look up the Denver Post, fact-checking 2,000 Mules, the movie alleging ballot fraud. Look up the Washington Post 2 years later. Obvious misinformation is finally taken down from 2,000 Mules. Look up NPR, debunk the film causes Republicans to mobilize, right? It's been debunked time and time and time again. It is misinformation at its finest, right? But what you've told me is that these are all liberal fact checkers that are just spreading propaganda, and you know the truth and everyone else around you is lying. So how do you feel about the 34 Republican appointed judges, right? And then the 17 Trump appointed judges, right, that ruled that there was no sufficient evidence for widespread voter fraud within the 2020 election to overturn the results?
I feel like the basis on which I feel like he had bad legal counsel, and I feel like the basis on which he made those arguments was not very good. So as far as look, you're correct about that. As far as it being thrown out, I feel like he had really bad legal counsel.
Tim, thank you for the $20 on Venmo for destroying fascism. I really appreciate you for that love, Tim. Let's get some W's in the chat for Tim. Thank you so much, Tim. Massive W's in the chat for Tim for the $20 for destroying fascism. No, I'm literally destroying fascism. This is actual fascism on the live right now. Then I have one other question. So how do you feel about the fact that on October 9th and on October 31st that Trump had told his chiefs of staff, as well as his former chief strategists, that he had planned to call the election on election night, even if he was behind in the polls, screaming to stop the count because they knew that the mail-in ballots would be democratically favored?
Well, they obviously knew that there was ballot harvesting going on prior to the fact, so I would have done the same thing.
How could they have known that there was ballot? One second, I have a question. How could they know that there was ballot harvesting going on before any ballots were sent in? This started on October 9th. That's when we have the leaked audio clip of him talking to Renice Priebus, his chief of staff.
There was already a lot of intel coming in from the ground level that this was being done.
Can you give me that intel?
Well, there were reports, news reports, where they're going around.
Can you give me a report about ballot harvesting from before October 9th?
I get that you're asking me to cite something, and that's a fair request. But for me to just pull this up out of my head randomly, I just remember that they were going around. No, false. They were going around and they were having immigrants and people who were coming in there harvesting ballots. There's proof that they harvested ballots.
I want the proof of this intel from before October 9th.
Find it. Then I can show you that they did this. But this is
Ron. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you for the love.
This is
no. That's a big lie. That's a big
common.
lie. So see what I mean? He calls me a propagandist, but then he can't give any evidence for what he's saying. I want proof of ballot harvesting prior to October 9th, the first time Trump told his chief of staff exactly what he was going to do on the night of the election. I mute that mic. Give me the evidence. I listen. I don't care about your propaganda. I care about the evidence.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the fact that you're going.
No. Let's not go back anywhere. I want the evidence of ballot harvesting.
Well, I know. See, you're trying to put me on the spot to cite.
I am.
something.
I literally
didn't
yes.
Come in here. I didn't.
Kristen,
come in,
thank you for the subscription. It's because you can't. It's because you don't have evidence.
Are you gonna let me talk? Like you?
I just want the evidence.
Boy, are you gonna let me talk?
Oh, now you're getting mad. Let's get some baby bottles in the chat for the
just
whiner.
Like screaming over me like a girl. Are you gonna let me talk?
Oh, what? Wait. So now you're saying that girls are emotional, and he left. Let's go. Yo, Purdy, thank you for the 20 gifted subs on app. Purdy, thank you so much for the 20 gifted subs. I really appreciate you for that love. Let's get some massive W's for Purdy right now in that comment section. I really appreciate you for that love. We are taking our victory lap right now because we just destroyed fascism live on air. Purdy, thank you so much for the 20 gifted subs. That is incredible. Massive W's for Purdy down below. I really appreciate you for that, for your kindness. And May, thank you for the money gun. Let's go, y'all. We are, dude, victory lap. Let's go. Joseph, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. $10 on Venmo as well, saying being smarter than daily. Absolutely. Thank you for the love. Thank you, Joseph. W. Joseph in the chat. And Anna, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, saying don't tell Parker you're my favorite debater. That's crazy, Anna, but thank you so much for the $10. W's for Purdy, W's for Joseph, and W's for Anna. Thank you all so much for your love. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. That's what we do to the fascists, to the liars, to the cultists. We dookie on them. We destroy them, ladies and gentlemen. All we do is we win. India, thank you so much for the love. And if anyone else wants to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms. Let's get some W's in that chat. What's up, Rock? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, can you hear me?
Sure can. Are you voting for Trump?
No, sir. Not
all right,
voting for Trump.
Appreciate you for coming up. I am just looking to talk to people that are voting for Trump. Thank you so much for coming up, though. Let's go and get our next guest up in here, y'all. If you are voting for Trump, let me see that in the chat. India, thank you for the love as well. Right, let me see a MAGA spam down below in the chat if you do want to come up and debate. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here. What's up, Sarah? How old are you?
Teen. Hi.
How old are you?
So I just wanted to say hi. I am voting for Trump. I'm 61 and I'm from New York. So I sort of grew up with caring about Trump. So he's not as bad as the media portrays him.
Okay, I'd say he is as bad, or even worse than how the media portrays him. He definitely denied black people housing. In the 70s, he proponed the birther movement of Barack Obama, saying because he's black, he shouldn't be able to run for president. He has a vehemently sexist track record with raping a woman, sexualizing little girls, and boasting about grabbing women by the P word without consent. He's a very bad man.
Okay. I just wanted to say that I respect your opinion because I work as a school teacher, and it's nice to see someone so young fighting for what they believe in. So I just wanted to actually compliment you. I didn't want to, argue. Not every Trump supporter is, crazy. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right. Well, hey, Sarah, I appreciate you for coming up and thank you for the compliment. I hope that you have a good rest of your day.
I just wanted to compliment.
I appreciate you, Sarah. I appreciate you for your compliment. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for the compliment. W, Sarah. Very respectful. Very respectful. W's for Sarah. We're going to move on to our next guest. What's up, Ghost? Are you driving? All right, Ghost is definitely driving. If you're MAGA, let me know down below, y'all. Let me know down below in that chat if you're MAGA. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next guest here, y'all. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say, guys. Everyone, just give us a minute to get our next guest up in here, y'all. Looks like our third account gets unbanned here in about 30 minutes. We're probably gonna try to switch over there, guys. But in the meantime, we're gonna go to get our next guest up in here. Let's go and see what we have. Brittany, I got you with an invite up. If you're MAGA, let me know down below. We're still just looking for our next guest here, ladies and gentlemen. Be patient while we get him up in here. If you want to come up and debate, let me see me in the comment section, and everybody hanging out with us, just be patient. What's up, V? How old are you? V, you're on the live. Trump Nation, 27. Baby, I invited you up. 27, are you voting for Trump?
I'm voting for Trump.
And why is that?
That's my boy. You need Trump.
Okay, I'm so sorry. You have a lot of background noise. Trump Nation, you're voting for Trump. Why?
Trump's the best.
Okay, you're a cultist. So
You're
rapist is the best?
You're a cultist. You went from Biden to Kamala. Who's next?
So wait, I have a question.
Channels get blocked or what, buddy, dude? Because you're on your third one now. What's going on with you?
I'm actually on my main account right now.
Yeah, you get paid $1,500 for each account.
I don't get paid any money on any account. What?
What? What
Do you think I'm paid by the DNC?
Not directly.
Not directly? What do you mean by that? How does a DNC indirectly pay me?
I don't know. Tell me.
I don't get paid by the DNC. You're just delusional.
You're the only influencer out here not getting paid.
No, there's no influencer I know is getting paid.
Huh?
No influencer I know is getting paid by the DNC.
You know Harry Sisson?
I do know Harry Sisson. He's one of my good friends. He's not getting paid by the DNC either.
I could tell he was one of your good friends, buddy.
He's also not getting paid by the DNC.
He's getting paid. Yes, he's getting paid, brother. There's paperwork. There's receipts.
No, there's not.
You're a flat out liar, dude.
No, you're a flat out conspiracy theorist.
This is what Democrats do. You lie, and then lie some more.
Yo, Purdy, thank you for the $42 on PayPal with love from the DNC.
You do a fake little fucking Yeah, a fake donation just to
That's not a fake donation. Purdy just sent me. Purdy just sent me $42 on PayPal from the DNC.
Brother, keep begging for money. That's what you're
Well, I'm
good
not
at.
begging for money, but wait, you just said it was a fake donation. Purdy, thank you so much for the $42 on PayPal from the DNC. I really appreciate you for that love. I really appreciate you for that love, Purdy. That's so kind of you. He said I was begging for money, and he said that the money was fake. So which one is it? Am I begging for money, or am I reading off a fake donation? Sarah, thank you for the $5 on Venmo fake donation for me. Let's go. W's for Sarah. What's up, Tim? Are you voting for Trump?
I think so, yeah.
And why is that?
Well, I'm gonna have to look deeper into it, because it's gonna be my first time voting. But
Nira, thank you for the $5 on Venmo as a fake donation. Thank you for the love, Nira. Go ahead, Tim.
But like I said, dude, like a lot of what you're saying is just wrong. Like,
Name one thing I've said that's wrong.
You said that Trump didn't want to provide his DNA samples, and he actually offered to provide them to the court, but the judge actually denied it. Look it up.
After what? What happened before he tried to, quote unquote, tried to provide his DNA to the court? What happened?
What happened? You tell me.
What happened? The judge ordered that discovery period was over, and neither the defense nor the prosecutioners could submit new evidence.
So why?
Mary, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for that love. I really appreciate you, Mary. W's for Mary down below.
Okay, so then if it was really that, if he refused to provide it then why is it that why would they not let him provide it then?
Yeah, dude. Like being surprised that being surprised that like the defense couldn't submit new evidence to the court case after the cutoff for new evidence to be submitted to the court case had passed is like going to Chick-fil-A on a Sunday and being surprised that you're not going to be served, right? Because remember, you're not just the party of law, but you're also the party of order. There's order within a courtroom. And when the judge rules that discovery period is going to end on this date, right? There's nothing that anybody can do to change that fact. And obviously there's nothing that either the defense or the prosecutor can do to submit evidence after that point. It's just the order that exists within a courtroom. We hold a very high standard of operational procedures within inside of a courtroom.
All right, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't realize it was past the discovery date. But also, don't you think that it was probably an impartial jury, considering that it was in Manhattan and the vast majority of voters there are
Trump, Trump, a billionaire, got the best lawyers in the world, but they're actually the worst lawyers in the world because they couldn't select a good jury. The worst lawyers in the world.
It's impossible to select a jury, and also the prosecution has to agree on it. You do know that.
Yeah, it's a jury selection made between both the lawyers of the defendant as well as the prosecutor. So I have a question. Would you accept that Trump would be a rapist if it was proved within a criminal court?
Depends where it is.
If it was in New York, if like
I probably wouldn't, because I think it's impossible for him to get a fair trial. It's impossible for him to get a fair trial. How is it fair for him to get a fair trial?
Oh my God, you're just a cultist. What happened to the party of law and order, sir?
What? Dude, I'm just telling you that it's
impossible.
You
say back the blue, but you know,
I've
fuck
never
the
said
criminal
that.
justice
How do you know
system.
what I
I'm
say?
voting for a felon. Arnett, thank you for the $5 on PayPal saying, Dean, how much more to drop the next idiot for real? $5 billion, $5 billion to drop, but I actually do that for like $100. Anyways, Tim, go ahead.
So you do realize though that it's impossible for him to get a jury that's not biased. It's impossible. So it's impossible to get him a
literally lie. That's literally a lie. I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple facts. So first of all, right, the jury decision didn't need to be unanimous, meaning that 3 of the 9 jurors could have said that no, Trump didn't grape her, and they still would have ruled that he did.
Okay, but
however, it is the case. Well, one second, that all 9 of the jurors said that yes, right, they had proven that Trump had graped her, right? But 2 of the jurors were Trump supporters. So it's also the case that every single jury always has bias. They have bias against people with tattoos. They have bias against people that they don't find attractive. They have bias even like sometimes racially or on the basis of gender, right? The goal of jury selection isn't to find people that don't have bias. The goal of jury selection is to find people who could set that bias aside and operate on the objective facts as presented within the court case, right? And all 9 of those jurors made a strict, clean, clear promise to the judge under threat of perjury that they would ignore all personal biases and would only operate on the facts as presented within the court case. Just saying that you reject it because of the bias of the court is the most intellectually lazy fucking thing I've heard all day. This is merely you attempting to put immunity on Trump for anything that he would ever be accused of. And this is you attempting to make up or dream the fringe conspiracy theory that he's being unfairly persecuted by the DOJ and by the Biden administration, by Democrats as a whole, because he is the savior of this country. I know now, if I ever want to run for president, to go out and do the most morally atrocious shit known to mankind, and then face the media backlash for being a bad person, and even be held liable for it by the criminal justice system, just so I could then turn around to my supporters and rally them around the common conspiracy theory that this is just the other side of the aisle unfairly politically persecuting me, when in all reality, I'm just a piece of shit.
All right. Well, first of all, dude, it doesn't matter if that 2 of the 9 fucking jurors were Trump supporters, because how does that matter if they're all discussing it as a whole? So you could have one juror influence another juror's opinion based on their personal beliefs. Okay. And if they put on something under perjury, dude, how is anyone going to know if what they did was based on goodwill or honesty? Because honestly, dude, like I bet you a lot of people.
If Trump was criminally convicted of graping a little girl, criminally convicted of graping a little girl, would you still vote for him?
Huh, dude? Like I said, I would have to look. All right, first of all, why are you adding that's a little girl? Why does that matter? Okay, like why are you adding that in there?
Can you answer my question?
Huh? I don't know. I would have to look deeper into it.
What would you have to specifically determine about the court case by looking into it deeper to evaluate if you'd still vote for him?
I would have to watch the whole case and then make my decision based on the evidence.
Oh, so you'd have to make your decision based upon the evidence. So this
I would have to
obviously
watch the
means that
case
you also...
myself.
Yeah, so this obviously means that your decision that Trump didn't grape E. Jean Carroll was made based upon the evidence submitted in the civil court case. So what was the evidence submitted in the civil court case that you made your decision based upon?
My evidence is that it was in New York, where it's mostly liberal, and it would make perfect sense for the jurors to try to.
Okay, so you don't know that you don't know the evidence submitted in the court case. That's funny.
Did you watch the whole case?
Let's say that this. I know every single piece of evidence submitted. Yes, but let's say that this criminal court that convicted him of raping a little girl was also held in the state of New York at the same time. Would you reject that criminal court case?
If what? Sorry.
If it was held in the state of New York with the same jury members?
Like I said, dude, I'd have to look at the case.
What would you have to look at?
Huh?
What would you have to look at?
I don't know, dude. Like, I would have to watch the case, and then I can make my opinion based on the case.
Did you watch the grape case in the civil court?
Not yet, but I'll still have to do that.
But you've already made an opinion about it, even though you haven't watched the case.
Yeah, so I'm just
so why would you be able to make an opinion about this
Amendment.
hypothetical criminal court case without watching that case?
Oh, okay. If I knew absolutely nothing about it, then my opinion would be he's innocent until proven guilty, because that's probably a biased jury.
You can't say he's innocent.
I believe innocent until proven guilty. That's what I believe.
No, you don't.
I do.
No,
don't tell me
because
what
he was
I don't
proven
do.
guilty, and you think he's innocent.
Yeah, but like I said,
yeah, but it's innocent until proven guilty, until it's Trump, and then it's innocent until proven guilty.
Because it's impossible for him to
get
a non-biased jury. It's impossible for him to get a non-biased jury.
Yeah, but
Okay?
just like in the
It's
same way you'd say that it was,
impossible.
so this would mean that it would also be impossible for Trump to get a non-biased jury in a criminal court case for raping the little girl. So this would mean that you'd still vote for him if he was proven criminally guilty of raping a little girl, right?
Like I said, dude, if I watched the case,
Wait, but why would you even need to watch the case? Why wouldn't you just say, well, you don't even need to watch the case because you know it's impossible for him to get a non-biased jury?
Because if he did it, then I wouldn't vote for him.
Wait, but we determine if he did it based upon the determination of the jury. But this is where your catch-22 comes into play, because you wouldn't trust the determination of the jury. You've already said that it would be impossible for him to get a non-biased jury.
Huh? It is impossible for him to get a non-biased
Yeah, so
jury.
then you'd never trust the determination of the jury, because
I wouldn't trust the determination of the jury. I would trust the determination of myself. Like I said, I'll still have to look into this case.
Okay. You said that you'd trust the determination of yourself. So what was the name of Trump's victim in the civil court case that held him liable?
Eugene Carroll, right?
No, it was E. Jean Carroll. And what was one piece of evidence that she submitted to? It's not the same thing. What was one piece of evidence that she had submitted to the court?
She had sperm on her dress.
She actually never submitted to the address to the court, specifically because Trump refused to provide his DNA. Right? So it is the case that you don't even know one piece of evidence.
That was all right. You asked. All right. I guess technically she didn't do it, but that was.
So what's one piece of evidence submitted to the court?
Like I said, I'll have to look more into it.
Bro, you don't even know one piece of evidence submitted to the court case, and you're over here telling me that you're obviously
I'm telling
not
you
gonna...
that what I'm telling you is that the jury's
Cam,
decision
without
was
interruption, go on mute, sit, and listen. Right? So you're over here, you don't even know her fucking name. You said Eugene Carroll. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. And you don't even know one piece of evidence that she submitted to the courtroom, but you're over here telling me that Trump is an innocent man? Bro, this is like me.
I'm not telling you he's an innocent man. That's not what I told you.
Oh, so you think Trump is a rapist?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't?
I honestly don't.
What do you vote for someone that
But
you
also,
don't know is a rapist?
another reason that I did like Trump is the tariffs that supported American businesses that he placed on China and whatnot.
Oh God! So you want to pivot away from the fact that you're so incredibly irrational, you'd vote for Trump even if he raped a little girl, to the fact that
No, if he raped I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what you were talking about the most, and I just thought it was stupid because you made your decision based on the jury's decision. But I don't think it's possible for the jury to get I don't think it's possible to get a fair jury. Because you're in New York
but that's
City.
like a bullshit claim. You know that, right?
Like, huh?
You know that's like just. Like
I don't think it's a bullshit claim. I think it's completely reasonable.
Okay, so give me evidence to support this seemingly reasonable claim.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. I don't know if it's true. Wait 1 sec.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. I don't know if it's true. We're already off to a terrible start.
1 sec.
Dear God.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. So I read it somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but it's like 12% of the vote went to Trump in Manhattan, which is where they picked out the jurors. Something crazy low number. So a lot of people in New York City hate Trump and would do anything to see him not run in the next election, especially because a lot of people think that he's going to fucking do Project 25. And so I think it's reasonable to proclaim that a blue state like New York could have a lot of biased jurors that want to see Trump get locked up by any means. So that's why I don't think it's fair.
Until you consider that there was 2 Republicans on the jury, they didn't need to all agree
then
on
those
this.
people are also biased.
Tim, your whole argument that the jury was biased hinges on the fact that they don't like Trump because they're Democrats, but now you're saying that even the Republicans were biased against him?
They're biased towards Trump, yes.
Okay, so if they're biased towards Trump and they ruled that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll, what does this tell you?
No, that doesn't matter because they all discuss it as a jury. They discuss it together.
They actually didn't.
So they could have influenced their opinion. The 7 other biased people could have influenced the other 2 people.
Okay, so you're
to
saying
vote for
that
that
the
way.
tyranny
Also,
of
wait.
the biased radical
Also,
left,
these
right,
people live in New York.
Gaslit
Listen.
and manipulated the Republicans into incorrectly ruling that Trump is a rapist?
What?
So you're saying that the tyranny, right, of the oppressive radical left gaslit, all right, the Republicans on the jury into saying that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll when he truly hasn't?
Also, how do you know how radical these people were?
I'm just, dude, exactly.
I'm
How do
saying-
we know
I'm
that they
saying
were
from the-
biased towards
I just-
bias against Trump in a manner that would lead them to lying to the judge, saying under threat of perjury that they would operate on the objective facts as presented in the court case instead of otherwise?
But how are you going to convict someone under the threat of perjury if it's your opinion?
No, I'm saying that all 9 of the jurors that were essentially selected by Trump's lawyers as well as E. Jean Carroll's, right, had promised, right, the judge that they.
I know what they promised the judge. But what I'm saying is that considering that Donald Trump was going to run in 2020, these people put away their promise away and kept that down, thinking that
So the
I'm
jury
gonna be
selection in a civil court.
Like, for example, OJ
Tim, 1
Simpson.
second. Oh wait, talk about OJ. Go for it.
All right. For example, OJ Simpson, dude.
Do you think OJ Simpson was guilty?
Listen, let me finish.
No.
think-
Do you think that OJ Simpson was a murderer? Yes or no?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah.
And what kind
Probably.
of court? And what kind of court was he held liable in?
Criminal court? Oh, no, liable and civil. He was liable and civil.
It was
but he
only proven
he
to
was-
have he was only proven to have murdered someone in a civil court. In fact, in the criminal court, they didn't find him guilty. And you're
Right.
siding with the civil court. Your own standard of evidence that you
Listen,
just threw
listen.
out of the fucking window saying wasn't enough for Trump is all of a sudden enough for anybody else. That's how hypocritical the right is, folks. Then also, they use this same jury selection process in criminal courts that they use in civil courts. And his whole argument
I
here
know,
hinges
but
on the
what
fact
that's not
that
my
the jury
argument.
was biased against Trump in the civil court. So this would essentially tell us if Trump was brought in to a criminal court for raping a little girl and he was found criminally guilty, okay, that he would throw that straight out the window too because of the impossibility to find a non-biased jury. So Tim, would you or would you not vote right for Trump if he
Dude,
was found criminally
you're not even letting me
convicted
explain
of
myself.
raping a little girl?
But you think OJ Simpson was innocent?
No, I don't. I think that motherfucker
You
was
think he was
guilty.
guilty, right? But do you think that the jury really thought that he was innocent in criminal court?
I don't know the specifics about the criminal court case.
Okay, dude. But what I was gonna say is that, like, you look at the people like who make up.
Yeah, you're talking about the jury. You think it's all biased. I understand that.
So I'm
right?
saying that the
So
jury was biased for O.J.
so
Simpson,
if
just
Trump
like it was for
was
Trump.
found criminally
So
convicted
people
of
are
raping a
able
little
to put
girl,
away
would you
their
still vote for him because of the
listen,
jury?
so
Because
people-
no, shut the fuck up, Tim.
People clearly
Shut the
put
fuck up.
away
Stop talking.
their
Stop talking.
promises to the
Stop
judge.
talking. Stop talking. Would you still vote for Trump if he was criminally convicted of raping a little girl in a criminal court? Because obviously you'd say that the jury was biased.
Dude, would I convict Trump if he was? Like I said, I would have to watch the case.
Wait, but you didn't watch the case about E. Jean Carroll and you're still voting for him?
Huh? No, I didn't. I never said I was. I said I'll have to look into it more. But I just think it's
No,
unfair
you're not
to
going to
make-
look into it more. You've already
yes, I
made your
will.
determination.
I did not
No,
make my-
here's my problem with you. I'm asking you if you'd vote for Trump if he was criminally convicted of raping a little girl, right? And your answer isn't no. It's that you'd have to watch the case. So we already have a red flag here. But I know that you're being intellectually dishonest and you're straight up lying because you didn't watch the grape case that he has in the real world, that being the grape case against E. Jean Carroll. You didn't know one.
Listen, why is that
to the court? You didn't know her name. You didn't watch the case, right? So can I ask you why you would vote for someone that was criminally convicted of raping a little girl?
Listen, why does it matter if what they make? Why is that a red flag that I say if I say that I'd have to look into it? Like,
do you accept
you just
this
want me to
34
just look
felonies?
into everything as it is? Just
No,
how it's
because you don't
presented to me, or
you
want me to
don't actually
deeper
look into it. Do you
Yeah, I will
accept
look
his
into it.
34 felonies?
Because I don't know who I'm voting for yet. But what
do you
I do
accept
know,
do you accept Trump's 34 felonies?
no.
But
Not
that
yet.
was in a criminal court.
Okay, but it's biased no matter what.
Oh my God! You just assume that there's bias. Wait, what were the 34
has to be
felonies
bias.
for? What
Because,
were the
listen, let me
34
ask you
felonies
something.
for? No, Tim.
Huh?
What were the 34 felonies for?
It doesn't matter what they were for.
Oh
There's
my
bias.
God! How can you say that you know this criminal court was wrong? It is no way in
I'll tell
hell
you
that
how I
Trump
know.
committed. Shut the fuck up and listen
So
to me
you were
speak,
at-
Tim. Calm the fuck down. How can you say that this criminal court was wrong, that Trump didn't commit these 34 felonies, and this was obviously a biased jury, when you don't even know what the 34 felonies were for? This is like me saying that it's excruciatingly hot outside, even though I've been sitting in my basement for the last year and a half. This is like me saying that I love the smell of lavender, even though I've never smelled lavender in my life. This is like me saying that I love sitting in trees, even though I've never seen a damn tree since the day I've been born. This is you just yielding conclusions right on the basis of literally no evidence. How can you say that obviously the criminal court that convicted Trump of 34 felonies had a biased jury and ruled incorrectly when you don't even know what the felonies were for?
I'll tell you how I know. Because listen, let me ask you a question, dude. If you ask every juror this question, who are you going to vote for? Trump, Kamala, or at this time it would be Biden. Trump, Biden, or you don't have any opinion. If you say I'm going to vote for Biden, then you're obviously biased towards Trump because you don't like Trump. That's why you're voting for Biden. So that makes you biased already because you don't like Trump. If you don't like the guy, then why would you want to vote for him to be innocent? Okay. And then if you say, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump, then you're biased towards Trump. Okay. And then if you say, I don't care, then you're not really a reasonable person because you don't care about politics. So all of those three options, dude, show you that it's impossible for him to get an actual jury that's not biased. Okay. And you understand that the
How
Sixth
do you
Amendment
know
states,
that Trump didn't
the Sixth
commit-
Amendment.
How do you know that Trump didn't commit these 34 felonies?
Dude, I'll have to,
when you
like I
don't
said,
even
I
know
haven't
what the
looked
34
into it, but
felonies
no
are
matter
for?
what the case is, this is a biased jury.
Sandy, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much. So here's my issue with you. Honestly, I have the same experience debating you, Tim, that I do when I debate flat earthers, that I do when I debate people that think 9/11 was an inside job, that I do when I debate people that hold to fringe conspiracy theories, okay? All right, you're no different than them, right? You orientate, right, what you believe to be true on the basis of your emotions, right? You're acting like a literal, barbaric caveman, right? And this is a modern day display of anti-intellectualism. This is why the right has launched their attack on higher education, because they don't want people to be educated, to align themselves with truth, to think more critically. This is why Trump wants to disenfranchise the Federal Board of Education, because they don't want people to be educated. They don't want people to think critically. Trump has even said that he loves the undereducated, right? And you're spawning in this attack, right, on being smarter, engaging in critical thought. No, you can't just assume, right, that a criminal court, right, that is typically correct by a large margin, right, was incorrect when they determined that Trump had committed 34 felonies, when you don't even know what the 34 felonies were for, nor do you know the political orientation or bias of any of the jury members, right? You're a fucking joke. You understand that, right?
Dude, it doesn't matter what I would have to look into the exact case and everything. Okay, I haven't looked into it yet, but what I do know is that Trump is like no other person in this country. Okay,
Gerard, I appreciate you for the $15 on PayPal. Saying Dean got time today, clocked it. Thank you so much for the love, Gerard. Let's get some W's in the chat for Gerard. Thank you for the $15 on PayPal. Honestly, I really loved interrupting you there, Tim. I really wish more people I wish I had more donations to interrupt you with, because that was very satisfying. Miguel, thank you so much for the champion. I really appreciate you for that love. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Well,
Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that, Elizabeth. Let's get at least 100 W's for Elizabeth down below, saying he's killing me. He's the VP of the MAGA cult. So real. Thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo, Elizabeth. Massive W's for Elizabeth in that chat. Thank you so much for the love.
I already made what I said. It's impossible for him to get a jury. I'd have to look
No,
into
it's not.
Okay, explain how my reasoning is invalid.
Yeah, because his lawyers selected the jurors.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter, because when lawyers select jurors, they're Devin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love, because they're looking for people that can set their biases aside and operate on the facts as presented within the court.
And how do lawyers select the jurors?
Right, it's a very long, lengthy process where they ask them.
They ask them questions.
Where they ask them like a lot of questions. They determine their biases. They determine where they sit on the political spectrum. They determine their ability to only align with the facts as presented within the court case. And they were selected by Trump's lawyer. So are you just saying that
They were selected by the prosecutors and lawyers. It's not.
Madeline, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo, saying at what point is this good enough for him to believe? So real. But Madeline with a $50, I want to get at least 100 W's from Madeline in that chat for the $50 on Venmo. That is crazy. Thank you so much for the for the $50. And Bree with the $10 on Venmo. Tim isn't familiar with the jury selection process. So real. Thank you for the $10, Bree. But I still want to see some more W's for Madeline down below. That $50 is nuts. Thank you so much for the love. And Gerard, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. And Elizabeth with a $15 on Venmo as well. Thank you so much, Gerard and Elizabeth, both for the $15. I want to see some W's for Gerard and for Elizabeth down below. And Tim with a $9 on Venmo, saying keep destroying fascism. I appreciate you for the $9 on Venmo. Thank you so much.
And yeah, and also, dude. So now we address that he can't get a fair jury because everyone has is gonna have bias.
Joseph, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much. Hey, so Tim, how do you know that E. Jean Carroll's claims that Trump had raped her aren't true if you don't know one piece of evidence she submitted in the court of law?
I don't know if they are true or not true, but what I do know is
right.
that
So I specifically know that they are true. So she
you don't know that though.
Yeah, I do. I do.
You don't.
So
You have bias.
I do.
You have bias
Elizabeth, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the Colts. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, Elizabeth. W's for Elizabeth in the chat. Can you mute the dog?
Can you mute the fucking donations?
No.
Okay. Well, then no.
Oh, I'll mute the dog for you. So yeah, I actually do know, right, that Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll. Specifically speaking, E. Jean Carroll had medical records from the 90s right after it happened indicating that yes, Trump had raped her. She had consistency between the said medical records and her story over the last 23 years, as well as the story of 7 other witnesses. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love, Elizabeth. W's for Elizabeth in the comment section. Thank you for the $10. All right, alongside the fact that she even had a dress with unknown male sperm on it that she claimed to be Trump's, and she claimed to have worn when Trump raped her. And then Trump turns around and then specifically, all right, fails to provide his DNA to the court of law, saying that he doesn't want to, when any reasonably innocent man would have provided his DNA to prove that. Like, let me ask you a question, Tim. If you were pulled over by the cops and suspected of drunk driving, and they said, here, take this breathalyzer to prove to us that you're sober, would you take the breathalyzer?
If I was
Elizabeth with the $10 on Venmo, as well as another $15. Elizabeth, thank you for the total of the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the shut up. Thank you for the love, Elizabeth. W's for Elizabeth down below.
I don't think that's a fair comparison. I think it's more if a cop wanted to search your car and you didn't have drugs in it, would you let him search your car? I wouldn't. It's the same thing as saying that.
No. So what
really
happened
is.
was she suggested a preponderance of evidence to the court, including medical records, consistency between the testimony of herself, 7 other witnesses, and a dress with his DNA on it. And then he was like, I'm not going to provide my DNA, but I'm innocent. I swear to God. So I'm going to name a couple good reasons for him to provide his DNA if he's innocent. He would have saved $90 million that he had to pay out to her. He would have been able to countersue her for a claim that he was a rapist in her book. He would have been able to scapegoat the negative PR associated with being labeled a rapist by the media, right? And he would have been able to increase his chances at winning re-election because people didn't view him as a rapist. Can you name one good reason for him not to submit his DNA to the court, assuming that he was an innocent man?
Yeah, it's his right not to submit his DNA to the court, and now they have his DNA on file. So,
First of all, about having the DNA on file, we don't know if they do or not.
well, let me ask
But
you
they
this.
couldn't- No, you're answering my question. I'm evaluating your answer. All right. So they actually would have to request the DNA from him to be used within the civil court case. They can't just like get the DNA that they supposedly have on file. First of all, I don't know what the fuck you mean there. They have to request it specifically from him for the use for that court case. Right. And then about it being his right. Right. Just because something is your right, it doesn't give you good reason to do it. Like, would you say that I, as a white man, have good reason to scream the N-word because that is my First Amendment right of freedom of speech?
Is it really though? Because it's not freedom from punishment. It's not a good idea.
The answer there is no, right? That
No.
doesn't give me good
Right,
reason to
that's what I
scream the
said.
N-word, right? So in the same way, it was his legal right to refuse to provide his DNA. That doesn't give him good reason to, right? Good
I think it's more of like you refusing for them to like search your car if they suspect drugs. I think it's more comparable to that.
I'm asking you to name a good reason for him not to give his DNA to the court.
And like I said, dude, he literally offered to give up his DNA later on in the trial.
Right after it, right, the evidentiary cutoff.
Was it?
Yeah. Right,
Can I
it was
get a
after the
source?
discovery period was over.
Let me look that
Court-
up.
Court documents, buddy.
Court documents? That's not a source.
Yes, it is.
Okay, but do you have the
What?
exact
Wait.
documents?
What? What do you mean the court documents aren't the source?
Find the court
The
documents.
The court documents specifically go over right when discovery period was active.
Stop trying to
when
mute me
the
to make
cutoff
me
for
look
the
like an
discovery
idiot.
period had occurred, and when he tried
You
to
know what I
submit
mean
his
by
DNA
court
to the court.
documents.
Court
What I mean by
documents.
court documents is, do you have this court documents to show me that it was
Yes,
past the
go online,
evidential period?
look up Trump v. Carroll, court documents. You can
All
look
right,
at
dude, I'll
the
look it
jury
up later
instruction sheet,
because I don't
and
want to
that
get
specifically is the
disconnected.
case. It was
But
after the deadline.
another-
Yo, Jason, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, and Anna, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo as well. Anna saying because I gotta go, but I hope you keep putting them in your place. Absolutely, Anna. Let's get at least 100 W's in the chat for Anna for the $25 on Venmo. Go ahead.
Okay, dude.
Elizabeth, thank you for the $35 on Venmo saying, shut this dummy down. I got you, Elizabeth. You've been showing so much love today. Thank you so much for the insane level of love, Elizabeth. I want to see some W's in that chat for Elizabeth right fucking now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for the $35 on Venmo. That is incredible. Thank you so much for the love, Elizabeth.
Also, I also like how he's putting tariffs on the fucking China and shit because that protects American businesses, U.S. businesses, and that's
Tariffs
why
actually
it's
serve as a detriment to the low and the middle class because they're inflationary. For two main
Okay.
reasons: it decreases the supply of goods within our countries for consumers to buy. So when we have a constant demand, of course, that's going to introduce higher
Yes.
prices, as well as the fact that that tariff, that tax, for those that opt into it, right, pass that tax off to the consumer. So tariffs
Okay.
cause
All
inflation.
right. Then how come I'm not on the aggregate level? Because if that was true on the aggregate level, on the whole level, why was inflation only like 2.9% under Trump? Also, it protects so many
We
different
saw an
industries
increase in
for the U.S.
inflation
to.
from tariffs, and this is specifically what all economists would agree on. This is why like trade
Yes,
deals such as
yes,
the TPP
it causes inflation.
Tariffs associated with tariffs, right, are supported. Right, this is why we also
I
now
agree.
support implementing
I agree.
the TPP.
It causes inflation.
Right? And
I'm not saying that it doesn't.
If you agree that tariffs cause inflation, then how
Yes.
do you feel about him wanting to replace the federal income tax with tariffs on all imported goods? Would you agree that this would be inflationary as all hell and would be detrimental to the low and the middle class that proportionately spend more of their income on the bare necessities to live?
First of all, dude, you can't. He's not going to replace the federal income tax with tariffs. You can't
he
do
said
that.
he wants to.
He could say that, but that's just not going to happen. That's
He
unrealistic.
said he wants to.
Okay, and I want a fucking $2 billion. It's just not going to happen.
Oh wait, so you're saying that you recognize that this
It's
is like one of the
irrational.
worst proposed policies ever, right? But the reason that you don't really care
One of
about
the
it is
worst
because you
proposed
won't be able
policies
to
ever
get it
is
done?
crazy. But what was I saying, dude? Fuck,
I'm asking you if
now
you
you're gonna
support
lose
his
my train of
proposed
thought.
policy or not.
What policy? That policy that's When did he even say this?
Dude, okay, do you want a source? Yeah, like he said this, I believe. He's been saying this at his rallies all across America. He wants to replace the
Okay.
federal
Do you have
income tax.
a video of him saying it?
Yeah, Jenny, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Jenny. I want to see some W's in the chat for Jenny. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. Let's get some W's in the chat for Jenny for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. And he said this like 2 days ago as well. He's been repeating this all throughout his campaign trail. So do you just not involve yourself with politics?
Huh? Nah. Wait. Can you play it? Like a video of him saying this?
Yeah.
Okay. Where he specifically said, I want to replace income tax with tariffs.
Yeah, so you could go to the taxfoundation.org. All right, so Trump income tax and tariff proposals, details and analysis, right? And then it goes over his proposed deal, right, about how he floated the possibility of entirely replacing the federal income tax with new tariffs.
Who did he propose it to?
Policy Center. His supporters.
His supporters when?
When? This is going to be coming from June 18th, 2024.
Okay, is there like a video of him saying it?
I mean, there's videos as reported by like CNBC. I bet if you dig, you could find one, right? But I just care about the proposal here, right? And you could find like Yahoo Finance talking about the proposal, Tax Foundation, which is the .org, talking about the proposal, Americans Institute for Economic Research talking about the proposal.
And he specifically says, I'm going to replace all federal income tax with tariffs.
Yeah.
You don't have a video though,
right?
Like
So
I might have to dig for myself for your claim.
Yeah. I mean, I'm giving you sources for the claim. I just gave you 4, right? Like, I don't understand like why this wouldn't be sufficient here.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I just feel like
I just gave you a source from the Tax
Foundation. Give me a source. That's great, but like you don't have any video of him saying it or proposing it. You're just saying that someone else said it.
Yeah, so Donald Trump, in a meeting with the GOP lawmakers at Capitol Hill Club in Washington, D.C., right, proposed the deal of imposing an all-tariff policy that would ultimately enable the U.S. to get rid of the income tax, right, in a private meeting with Republican presidential candidates, right? We have sources on this from CNBC, Tax Foundation, Peterson's Institute for International Economics. I'm giving you sufficient evidence.
Oh, so he said this in a meeting. He allegedly said this in a meeting, but there's no
allegedly saying this in a meeting. He said this multiple times, right? I have multiple
times, but you don't have one video.
Bro, because we don't have a video. We have sources, right, in like text form, like articles.
Articles, okay. And also, dude, like what's wrong with there's not on the aggregate level, dude, you do realize that tariffs do not.
1 second, can you recognize that this is a proposed policy of Trump's? Like I don't even know like what the fuck you're doing. Like you are being so incredibly dense. You are like actually being dense as all hell, Tim. Right? You have given me like no reason to believe, right, that we should reject the findings of the civil court. You're just saying that the jury's biased. You didn't give me any reason. You couldn't name one piece of evidence you even submitted in the court. You've been acting incredibly irrational the entire time you've been up here. And now I'm giving you like I'm cross-referencing sources from like 15 different institutes, right, of economic research. Right, and now you're doing
dude. I just want to because you're saying that no, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying this is like what you're making this seem like. This is one of his major proposals. So I just would say I would like a video of him proposing it. That's all.
So, dude, 1 second. Are you a Christian?
I'm half Christian. Yeah.
Dude, get the fuck out of here. You're telling me that me cross-referencing 15 different sources, naming all of them, telling you everybody that reported on it, even detailing to you how mainstream this is to have occurred, is not sufficient evidence to prove that it occurred, but then you believe that a magic man died on the cross and rose 3 days later, 2,000 years ago?
When did I say I believe that? Now you're just making assumptions.
You said you're a Christian? That's a core
I'm half
belief
Christian.
of Christianity.
Yes, I am. Yeah, because my fucking parent, my fucking dad was Christian. That doesn't make me believe in Christianity.
You think that Christianity is like an ethnicity?
If I feel like if one of your parents are Christian, doesn't that make you Christian?
Okay, I understand who I'm talking to now. I need to stop taking Tim so seriously.
Oh, so you're saying you identify as Christian?
Jenny, I appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Jenny. Let's get some W's for Jenny in the chat. 1 second, buddy. So Jenny, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo saying Tim Hortons education fund. Yeah, guys, we're gonna start an education fund for Tim, right? Venmo, PayPal in the bio. Tammy, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo as well, right? For Tim Hortons, right? Education fund as well. Thank you so much for the love. Right, we're starting an education fund for Tim. Link in bio. Link in bio. All right. Anyways, go ahead.
So, do you think that Judaism is can you inherit Judaism?
Oh, bless your heart, buddy. So Judaism is an
It's a-
ethnicity.
it's
So
an
you could be
ethnicity.
ethnically Jewish as well as you could be religiously Jewish.
But you can't be ethically Christian.
No.
How does that make sense?
Because we
Are they both religions?
right. So Judaism isn't just a religion; it's also an ethnicity.
Right, but you're saying Christianity's not.
Do you think that I could be ethnically atheist?
No.
Can't be ethnically Christian.
Really?
Brad, thank you for the $20 on Venmo for Tim Hortons Education Fund. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some W's in the chat for Brad for the $20 on Venmo for Tim Hortons Education Fund. I really appreciate you for the love. What, can you define Christianity for me?
Yeah, a religion that believes in Jesus Christ.
So do you believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God?
Probably not.
So then you're not a Christian, right?
I guess.
I mean, let me just ask you, would you consider me a Christian because both of my parents are Christians?
Yeah.
I'm a Christian?
If you're both your parents are Christian, I would consider you a Christian.
Is it possible to be an atheist Christian?
Well, you're ethnically Christian, but you believe in atheism. It's like listen, it's like
I'm an atheist Christian. I'm an atheist Christian. Jesus is not the Son of God, but I am a follower of.
Well,
of
listen.
Jesus. Wait, Amy, what do you think? Amy, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Thank you for the $5 for Tim Hortons Education Fund. Where do you think the word Christian comes from? What do you think that word means in a nutshell?
Well, I don't understand how Judaism is an ethnicity. How is Judaism? It's not an ethnicity.
So you could be ethnically Jewish.
How can you be ethnically Jewish and not ethnically Christian? How does that make
Jesus Christ? Because like ethnicities are social constructs, and like because of how long the religion has been around, and like where like we predominantly seen right, like the Jewish religion like have a stronghold in like the Middle East, near like where modern day Israel would be.
So it's a social construct.
It's just different. I don't know why it's different. It just is. I'm gonna be honest.
You don't know why it's different. It just is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Okay. You're so bless your heart. Elizabeth, thank you for the $100 on PayPal. Yo, I really appreciate you for the love. I want to see some W's in the chat for Elizabeth. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the love, Elizabeth. Let's get some massive W's for Elizabeth in the chat for the $100 on PayPal for Tim Hortons Education Fund. Let's go. Massive W's for Elizabeth in the chat. That is so kind of you. Thank you for the $100. What?
All right, dude.
You said that nobody gave me $100?
I doubt it.
1 second. Yo, Elizabeth, do I have your consent? Do I have your consent? You know what? Her comment's really funny, so I'm just gonna block out her name. Her last name. 1 second. Her comment's really funny.
All right, dude. You don't have to show me this. I believe you. I don't care.
No. 1 second, bro. I'm gonna Wait, what evidence do you have to believe that $100 donation wasn't real?
I don't have any evidence.
Because you seemingly take Trump for his word of mouth. Why don't you take me for mine?
For his word of mouth.
Yeah. The only reason you think he's.
But you do seem to ignore that his tariffs policy doesn't protect. You just like when I said it protects American businesses, you said, "Oh, it's bad for inflation." And why was inflation at 2.8% the whole time he was as president?
Yeah, we saw a rise in inflation from when he implemented the policy until not, and then we specifically have economic evaluations from conservative as well as liberal. 1 second, from conservatives as well as like liberal. Like economists that would specifically agree they'd cause inflation. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and show you this, right? So there's $100, right, from Elizabeth on PayPal, specifically saying I don't have any actual videos of this guy being given brain cells because he's making me believe he definitely didn't get any. So not only did she send me $100, but she fucking shit on you. She didn't just send me $100. She fucking ended you. Crazy. I love conspiracy theorists. Y'all are so fun.
How am I a conspiracy theorist?
Are you asking me that question as a joke?
No. How am I a conspiracy theorist?
Wait, do you believe that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump?
Probably not.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, would you like renounce Trump for claiming that it was stolen from him, right? Causing tens of millions of American citizens and American voters to have virtues of distrust in our civil and electoral processes over the course of the next 4 years, right? Specifically attempting to undermine our American democracy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to vote for the guy that you would admit tried to undermine the American democracy.
Like I said, dude, I honestly don't think
Matthew, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Let's get some W's for Matthew in that chat. And Amy and Alexandria, I appreciate the both of you guys for the $5 on Venmo. And Shirley for the $30 on Venmo, saying Tim is fucking stupid. Shirley, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. I want to see at least 100 W's in the chat for Shirley. Thank you for the $100. Sorry, for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you for the love. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, but you want like I said, fuck. I care about the economy and what he's doing with the tariffs. I support. That's why I support him.
Okay, so then why wouldn't you agree with replacing all federal income taxes with tariffs?
Because I don't think that he's going to do that, and I don't think that's rational. But I think you can get some tariffs up, and I think.
Yeah, so I mean, I've given you about
good?
15 sources to demonstrate, right, that this is a policy intended by him.
Dude, you know that's never going to happen.
Okay, well, I mean, isn't that already a little bit?
Do you think it could be rational to say that he's going to the extreme that much so they can negotiate down?
One second. So do you see how it's already kind of like a red flag to say that you recognize that Trump has really absurd policy and has done insane things in his past, but the only reason you're voting for him is because there's no way that people would let that slide? Nathan, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love. Let's get some W's for Nathan in the chat. He got an age restriction, so we had to kick him. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest, though. I really appreciate everybody for the insane levels of love that y'all have been showing me today. Thank you. What's up? How old are you?
I'm not voting for Trump. Bye.
Hey, yo, W's for Jeff. Yo, Shari, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Let's show some love to Shari down below. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, Shari. And Crystal, thank you for the $10 as well. Y'all are showing so much love today. Let's get some W's for Shari and some W's for Crystal down below in that chat. Thank you both for the $10 on Venmo. That is seriously so kind of you guys. We're going to go ahead and load up our next guest literally right now, guys. If we are in the queue, make sure that we are voting for Trump. We're just looking for our next debate. Spam MAGA down below if you are voting for Trump. What's going on, Max Sizzle? How old are you? All right, Max Sizzle isn't here. Marky Mark, what's up? How old are you? Mark?
52.
52. Mark, I feel like you're going to slur me. Please don't slur me. Just promise you're not going to slur me. Okay. Why are you voting for Trump?
I'm not going to slur you, Daddy.
All right. Are you voting for Trump?
You old enough to vote? You old enough to vote? You look like a little kid. You old enough to vote?
Not only am I old enough to vote, but I'm also old enough to know that you're going to die alone if you treat your children any way similar to the way you just treated me. Yeah. So with ageism aside, why are you going to be voting for Trump? Yo, Madeline, thank you for the $20 on Venmo for being old enough to vote. Thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo for being old enough to vote. Thank you for the love. 1 second, Marky Mark. I'm thanking my donor. Thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo from Madeline for being old enough to vote. I really appreciate you for that. Yeah, just to clarify, Marky Mark, I am old enough to vote. I'm like, okay, buddy, I understand that, like, you're like, Like, your ripe old age, right? I'm a little kid. I'm like
You're
a quarter
ugly,
your
too.
age. Yo, Shannon, thank you for the $15 on Venmo for being old enough to vote. And Shirley, thank you for the $15 because this guy is creepy. Shirley and Shannon, I appreciate y'all for the $15 both on Venmo and send with the $5 on Venmo.
Stick it up my ass and call it anal sex.
Hey, so buddy, are you going to tell me why you're voting for Trump? I'm here to engage in like good dialogue. Devin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying imagine thinking that was funny and laughing. That was so cringy. Thank you. And Tatiana, thank you for the $5 on PayPal saying muzzle this mutt. His laugh is nails on chalkboard. That's crazy, Tatiana. Thank you for the $5. Alexandria with the $5 as well. Thank you so much. So Marky Mike, why are you voting for Trump?
Because I want to, you little bitch.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate to you, although I may be a little kid, I'm still, like, much smarter than you. Can you name,
No,
like,
I
one...
didn't say little kid, I said little bitch.
Yeah, and you're the one on your knees with your mouth open for Trump to piss and shit in with all of his lies and conspiracy theories that you buy because they're words that came out of his mouth. That's crazy.
You're a
So why
liar.
are you voting for Trump?
Because you're a liar.
Yo, Bree, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love. Let's get some W's in that chat for Bree. That was crazy.
Kamala Harris
that was
is paying
crazy.
you $1,500 to lie.
Okay, can you give me any evidence of that? No, he can't.
He's paying you $1,500 to lie, dude.
Yeah, I'm asking you for evidence, right? Did we just forget that we have to have evidence for our beliefs? I wish that someone would pay me $1,500 to be on here. That'd be fucking fun.
I bet you beat off to her picture at night when you're in the bed, don't you?
That was fucking gross as hell. That was insane. That was insane. That was Mark. that was like crazy. Are you kidding me? That was like the most crazy shit that I've heard all day. Brother,
You're the one saying the most craziest shit all day.
No, I'm not.
You lie all day, dude.
Oh my god, name one thing that I've said that's been a lie. Hey, Derek, thank you for the $2 on Venmo saying... 1 second, Marky, I'm thanking a donor. Derek, thank you for the $2 on Venmo saying
Fuck
you're
your
clearly more
donor.
educated.
Fuck your donor.
You want to fuck my donors?
I said, fuck your donor. And you. Fuck your donor.
You want to fuck my donors and me?
Oh,
Yo, Katie with a $1. Be careful. You have Marky Mark on the watch. Spoon with $1 as well. Katie and Spoon, y'all gotta be careful away from Marky Mark.
Did y'all hear that? He said he wanted to suck my boner.
Bro, why do you keep talking about me, first of all, masturbating to Kamala Harris, and then saying that? Mark, do you want me?
Nah, I wouldn't have you. You're not my type.
Okay, Mark, why are you voting for Trump? Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Elizabeth. Let's get some W's in the chat for Elizabeth. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Shut up while I'm thanking my donor. Thank you so much. All right, for the love on Venmo, Elizabeth. I want to get at least 500 W's for Elizabeth down in that chat. Thank you so much for that love. Thank you so much for the love, Elizabeth. Let's get some W's for Elizabeth for the $50. So you said I'm not your type, Marky Mark. I understand. I'm not your sister. But Shannon, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. But anyways, Marky Mark, I actually am here, right, to engage in like seemingly productive conversations with people about why they're voting for different candidates. And you said that you're voting for Trump, right? Let's set your insane, right, emotions to the side. And let's just try to actually have a productive conversation. So without like screaming, yelling, or insulting me, right? Why are you going to be voting for Trump? Or can this like 70-year-old man not act his age? And can a literal 19-year-old act more mature?
Yeah, I said I'm sorry.
All right, so why are you voting for Trump, Mark?
I'm voting for Trump because I want to. It's a free country and I do what the hell I want to do.
Kai, thank you for the money gun.
You're not going to change my mind if I sit in a prayer telling a bunch of lies and shit, you know.
So how many branches of government are there?
Enough.
How many?
Enough.
Enough. Okay. Sal, thank you for the money gun. And how many continents are there?
Too many.
Okay. And what is Trump's first name?
Trump's first name is your daddy.
You don't know Trump's first name?
Daddy!
You don't know Trump's first name, Mark? Thank
Yeah,
you for the
he's
cool
your
duck.
daddy.
That was really cute.
He's your daddy.
No fucking shot, guys. He doesn't know Trump's first name.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mark, I have a question. What are your
first
pronouns?
name is your daddy.
What are your pronouns?
Where am I from?
Yeah, what are your pronouns, Mark?
My pronouns.
Yeah, what are your pronouns?
Why you keep asking me stupid questions?
No, Mark, what are your pronouns?
What are verbs? What are nouns?
I'm asking you, what are your pronouns? Alexandria, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for dealing with Mark's laugh. I really appreciate you for that love, Alexandria. Thank you for the $10. Do you not know what pronouns are? He left. Okay. We're going to go on and move on to our next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go and get our next guest up in here. Oh my gosh, guys. Mark, come on. We got to do better. If you guys want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal is in the bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, and it means the world to me. But we're going to go and get our next guest up in here right now. Does he even know how to vote? Yeah, I don't think that guy's going to be able to even make his way down to the ballot box. What's up, Jose? How old are you?
I'm 47.
You voting for Chomp?
I am. I'm voting for Trump this time around.
All right, why are you voting for Chomp?
I'm voting for Trump because there's too much, everybody's saying about conspiracies. The conspiracy really is that indictments, assassination attempts, all this is happening on election year. It could have happened in 21, 22. Personally, I don't like him.
It could have happened in 22, you say?
I mean, all of these indictments could have happened in 23. It didn't have to happen the election year. And the assassination.
Yo, Ka, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Ka. Ka says, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with undereducated Trump supporters. I really appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo, Ka. So you said it could happen in 22. So in 2022,
it could
Trump
have
was held
happened in
civilly liable for
22.
rape.
He could have. There were indictments. They tried to, but they waited. They didn't know if he was going to run or not. He ended up running.
Elizabeth, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Let's go. The word pronoun was truly a curse to the Trump supporters. Thank you for the love, Elizabeth, with the $25 on Venmo. Let's get at least 50 W's for Elizabeth down below. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyhow, they all waited till the last minute of 2024. Also, they already knew Biden had dementia. I know a lot about dementia because my father has dementia, and I know how it operates and how everybody could see. Anybody that is knowledgeable, put aside all the politics stuff, all the bad stuff. You know, they're bad on both sides, but I'm just, what I'm stickler to here is the political persecution that's happening. That's what turned me. Trust me, I voted for Biden. I did not like Trump. I voted for Biden in 2020. I voted for Hillary Clinton. In 2016, I voted for Barack Obama, 2008, 2012. So I was diehard until I saw that they came in the wrong way. All they had to do was prove that all the stuff is bad. They didn't have to do it the way they did it, you know, and then all of a sudden, coincidence, nobody's on that roof. Somebody shoots the president or the nominee, you know, Trump. Somebody tries to assassinate him, all on a roof that was completely empty. I mean, there's too many coincidences that there is, you know, something going on. And my eyes are open to it. And then they just force out Biden, you know. Yeah, okay, it's legal for Kamala to come in and take the nominee. Yeah, 100%. Legally, it's all in the rule book for the Democrats. I get it. But the way they did it, why do it that way? Why even put a shadow on it? You know what I mean?
The only person that tried to force Biden out of the presidency was Trump. When he lost the 2020 election to Biden, and he literally made fraudulent certificates of ascertainment for Congress to certify as real Trump votes on January 6th. So that is legitimate political persecution. And that is legitimately a soft coup that Trump had launched to try to keep Biden out of the White House by literally trying to rig an election.
I agree with that. He should have taken that like a man. He should have taken that loss like a man. He didn't. But he didn't have district attorneys, people from from.
Do you mind if I talk here real quick? Madeline, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Yo, Madeline, that is so much love. Thank you so much.
Way out of this.
No, there is, because I'm saying this time, what you're referencing here is a creation. There was something before it, the necessary existence. I believe time is a creation.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
what
telling you
came
that
before
a
the
creation, that in order to have a creation, you would need to have time.
Not necessarily. That's my point. That is my point I'm trying to make.
Necessarily, that's my point.
You're equating time you're creating time to creation. That's not my point here. My point is
So then which premise would you reject?
No, but that's the point. You're trying to trap me by bringing these premises here.
I'm sorry that you don't like logic or argumentation.
No, but
it's
the
not a
thing is,
trap. It's just logic.
It's still illogical. Because
Wait, and so if the structure is sound and the premises are true, then it's a true argument.
You're being logically inconsistent here, because if I say to you, disprove that time is a creation.
Yeah, so the way I would disprove this, that's like super easy for me. I would just say, Grimlock, thank you so much for the $6.66 on Cash App. W Grimlock, W666, before time would be a static state. Satan, hail Satan, appreciate it, Grimlock. So the way I would prove that that the creation of time is impossible is just because a creation is a change of states, and a change of states is a change. A change requires a before and after. A before and after requires a past, present, and future. And a past, present, and future requires time, which means that if we have a change, if we have a creation, then we have time.
What you've just done is you've explained to me the process of past, present, and future, and by that you've tried to explain that time hasn't been created.
Yeah, because they would have to exist before time existed. Because time would have to exist before time exists.
When I say that time is a creation, I'm inferring that there's something out of time that has created time. You're talking to me about the process of past, present, and future. I'm trying to disprove that time.
And I'm disproving. So you have two options. So you can either reject a premise, or you can point out how the structure isn't logically sound.
You're saying I have two options when I have more than two options.
No, these are, if you know anything about logic, anything at all, these are your two options. The only two options.
If you listen to my point, if you listen to the point,
you're just saying something unrelated. Wait, so I'll give you a demonstration. I'll give you a demonstration to prove that these are in fact your two options. So let's say that I'm making the argument that Socrates is mortal, and my argument goes like this. Well, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. Now, if you wanted to negate this, you could disprove the premise one, that all men are mortal by pointing out like the immortal man. Or two, you could disprove that Socrates is a man by doing whatever test you would do to do that. And then from that, if you can attack the premises to get out of the conclusion. Or if I said, like, the sky is red, grass is green, therefore, or like the sky is blue, grass is green, therefore, I don't know, like the sun is, like snow is white.
What are you saying right now? You're giving me a premise.
You could point out that this actually, we can't make the inference that snow is white based on the fact that nothing logically leads there.
That doesn't make sense. You're making a point and then you're giving me certain premises that I have to follow in order to disprove you. My point is simply this: time itself was created. You haven't disproved that time wasn't created.
Could we have a time before time?
I'm not saying we can have time before time. I'm saying that there was a
Wait, so what was there before time existed?
Something that wasn't time.
Oh, so you agree that there's a before time? Before is a time word, so time would have already existed before time.
But you're saying.
So, I'm sorry. Wait. So what existed before time? What you're trying
to do is say time.
What existed before time? What existed before time?
A necessary existence.
What existed before time?
God. Perfect. The necessary existence.
So you agree that there is something before time?
Yes.
So we would have